Alright, yeah, I'm a few minutes late. Shoot me. It'll probably work. I have a very low power level. Let's see if anyone pops in real quick here, because I know I scheduled this for like an hour, so I'm sure someone's going to want to watch this. Get polls from some of my viewers. And yeah, I know that poll was kind of last minute. It was like last night, but what can you do? I posted the poll on my viewing channel, not my creator channel. I'm like, God damn it, I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. That's what I am. Hey, anyone who's got any discussions, any ideas, you can start getting this kicked off. Go send this around. I'm just posting this here. Yes, there. That's where this goes. Okay. Oh, someone's already here. I'm not gonna answer that. Actually, that's an instant answer. I don't think that's gonna be any Dragon Ball character, actually. Even weaker characters like Blue could probably beat a floor. If you're counting it, like literally any character from Z, it's like, oh, I need to fight a floor? Well, I'll just vaporize it with one beam. Problem solved.
Chris Pite says perfect cell vs floor.
You would have to be wall level, or I guess floor level, you know, floor or wall level, to have an even match with a wall or floor. And you didn't specify the kind of floor, you just said a normal floor, so yeah, even some characters in original Dragon Ball can break a floor. And who's to say what the material is? It could be a wooden floor, it could be a glass floor, it could be a metal floor. That changes everything. Wait. I'm trying to think of... What is he from? Because he would have to be really crazy if you try to pit him against Goku Black. Because... Like, we gotta remember, Trunks... The same Trunks that was able to kill the future androids, and according to the Super Flashback, he was actually able to fend off Deborah and Babidi by himself. Well, the Supreme Kai helped him, but still. He was strong enough to do that, yet he could barely lay a scratch on Goku Black. Why does the chat have so much latency? What is this? Again, like I said, I would tell you who would win, but I'm trying to think of what character you're talking about. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, but I've never seen that movie, so I can tell you one thing I learned recently, though, is this is actually hilarious, by the way. Even as powerful as Goku is right now in Dragon Ball, like, even at his current level, at the end of Super, and even if you include, like, the manga version of Super, he's still weaker than the character that he was inspired from. Sun Wukong is actually still stronger than him, in his own story. Because at the end of the story, he basically, like, gains the, how do I put it? He basically gains full control over the universe. And, like, he's able to control the concepts of life and death and just anything he wants. He kind of just becomes God, essentially. And you can't get much stronger than that. That's one of the most bullcrap powers you can get. The ability to control concepts. I bet the only stronger thing would probably be something like Toon Force. Nothing beats Toon Force. That's the strongest thing in all of media. Well,
Chris
more...
Pite says Goku Black vs Tetsuo. Chris Pite says he's from Akira, and I don't mean by the end of the movie because spoiler alert, he creates his own universe. Chris Pite says can't Goku destroy universes though?
Oh, there's actually a lot more people in here than I thought. Wait, all of you guys are in my chat? It says so on chat speech, but you guys are just being quiet right now. Don't be shy, dude. Ask a question. Ask who would win. We gotta keep this conversation going. It's just telling me there's quite a few people who are in my chat, technically. Or watching the video, anyway. They're, like, watching it. It's just, I've had a lot of fun watching videos like Nemesis Bloodreich. I like his channel, I don't know why. I've been really getting into whole power scale debates. It's just been fun. I like it. If you're like, yeah, who would win this fight? Would it be them or him? I don't always do all the, like, research that, like, someone like, I don't know, Death Battle does or something like that. But usually if it comes with franchises I've already seen a lot, or franchises I'm familiar with, I can generally scale them. I can have a good idea of who would win between different medias. Actually, I have this funny joke I told my cousin the other day. I was telling him, it's like, Dragon Ball scales incredibly fast. Naruto scales moderately fast. One Piece scales incredibly slowly. It's true, though, because, like, when you actually compare the power levels over a long period of time, One Piece characters are pretty gradual in their power increase. It usually takes a while before a big jump happens. In Naruto, it starts off kind of like that, but as the show goes on, it seems like it accelerates. And it starts getting faster more quickly. But Dragon Ball has just been like that all the time. It's just always, like, trying to outdo itself every other season, I swear to God. Like, every other arc. Actually, and in Z, it's literally, like, as soon, especially with King Piccolo, it's like, okay, yeah, no, we're just gonna go beyond human now. We just have a demon that can just blow up cities, yeah, because that's fair. And then you just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Every single arc is always so much stronger. But that's not how the other two animes work. In Naruto, you can actually have characters later that are weaker than characters earlier. It's kind of a norm. You can have this. You can actually have the power sort of flat out for certain periods of time before it goes back up. One Piece definitely does that a lot. You can have like 50, 100 episodes or so where the character's powers are pretty consistent for the whole thing. In Dragon Ball, there has been a couple of times where a weaker villain shows up, but it's usually for the sake of a joke. Like, it's never really meant to be serious. Like, it's not like a common trend either. It's just like, oh, look, it's this guy. He came back. He's weak. So he gets killed. Because, you know, it's a stomp. It's just a total stomp. It doesn't even have to be from anime. You could do some characters from some other medias. You can do some from some Western animation for all I care. Like, I don't know, maybe someone from DC or something. I can't promise I'm a total expert and know everything about every character, so I would have to make assumptions for some of these based on what characters you give me. Also, one thing that's important in these is try to think if a character has been around for a long time, or they've gone through a lot of changes throughout their own series, it's usually good to tell you, oh, which version of the character. Like, oh, is it the character before he learned how to do this, or the character after he learned how to do this? Because that also can help make the fight more fair, if you think about certain fights. I don't know, I find this really fun. And no, even at where Goku is right now, he's just barely universal. He's not even close to multiversal yet. And now he has the raw strength, but he doesn't have the reality warping and like fate deciding power
says
of
Sirius,
Sun Wukong.
Season 1, vs Goku, fight to death.
Even Episode 1, original Goku, would literally beat up any Yu-Gi-Oh character I know of. Even those fucking, even those guys from the Rare Hunters who have, like, fucking ninja moves, they don't stand a chance. Because, you gotta remember, the power in Yu-Gi-Oh is never really a physical thing. It's like, it's always, the power scale just kind of goes in, how good is your dueling, or how much can you cheat in a duel? Now, of course, there are some characters who can do some stuff physically, with, like, the Millennium items can do that, and in 5Ds, there's characters that are literally psychic, but, like, no one really is, like, not that I remember any, like, major character is really, like, a fighter. And as far as I'm aware, they never seem to do superhuman physical feats. Maybe some characters, because I have seen some that do some kind of ridiculous stunts. Kaiba might be able to put a scratch on him, but even with his badassery, I don't think he has the raw strength to hurt him. You gotta remember, Goku was able to literally just tank gunshot bullets.
Says actually, what about Goku vs the original Exodia or Zork from the Egyptian times?
Okay, that's a better idea. So, but yeah, no, Goku's able to just tank pistol bullets, no problem. And last time I checked, there is not a Yu-Gi-Oh character who could just tank bullets. Now, Season 5... yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about, like, the Season 5, summon, like, that Simon summons. He, like, summons Exodia to fight Zork. It's kind of hard to scale him, to be honest. It's one of... Because you gotta remember, monsters fighting isn't, like, a normal thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's usually just the card game. So I don't think they thought much about how strong they actually were. But judging from the fact that Zork was so, like, strong that they literally had to summon the god of creation to obliterate him, it's safe to say that he's probably, like... Exodia's probably, like, borderline god level. Like, almost god level. Anyway, from what I've seen, though, if you're talking about Season 1 Pilaf Arc Goku, actually, nah, Goku's fucked. Because, like, Goku couldn't even beat up the Ox King in that season. Yeah, did you remember that? Actually, no, you don't, because I don't think you watched OG Dragon Ball yet. You need to watch OG Dragon Ball. Season 2 Goku, I still don't think it's enough. Gotta remember, Exodia in that scene was like a titan. Dude was like a colossus. Fucking huge. I don't think Goku's would be able to beat him until like the 23rd tournament when he's an adult, like when he fights Piccolo Jr. I think by then he probably is strong enough to kill him, because at that point in the story, Goku was able to he of course he didn't actually use it the same way Piccolo Jr. did, but he's basically like at the level where he can actually survive a mountain level attack and also hit back just as hard. So yeah, Goku is just like casually mountain level at that point. And seeing from the power feats that monsters tend to have in Season 5, I think that would be enough to hurt Exodia. And even if it's not, I'm sure Goku, after King Kai's training, would be able to kill him. In Z. Yeah, Dragon Ball's weird, because, like, when they got to the Saiyan Saga and the Namek Saga, they kind of already got to a point where the main characters are just casual planet busters. But, like, they also still had to make sure that fights were engaging and fun to watch, and every fight wasn't just destroy the planet. So it becomes really hard to really scale feats in later parts of Dragon Ball, because, like I said, everyone could just casually, like, breathe the planet to death, practically, later on. But like, they keep showing smaller feats because, like I said, that's more entertaining for us to see. They wanted the fight to be engaging, so they cheat and have them do smaller stuff, like, oh, I blew up a mountain, even though that would literally be nothing for me. I could blow up way more than that. They almost seem to address this in the Buu Saga, though, because when Kid Buu charges up an attack, Goku's like, well, that's strong enough to blow up the planet 10 times over. I'm like, bitch, he could probably blow up the planet 100 times over at this point. But like I said, it wouldn't look good
Chris
in
Pike
animation.
Says Mr. Satan vs Viper. You know that one scene.
What, you mean Viper from GX? The ones. That's funny. That's funny. That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. I'm not really sure. I think Satan has an edge because, one, he's really tricky, and but at the same time, Viper's like a fucking no-nonsense person. He'd probably just, like, ignore his babbling and just hit him. And he does have a size advantage. And he has some moves, but at the same time, Hercule did win a world championship martial arts tournament. I know people like to make fun of that, but, like, he did legitimately win a tournament. Like, I know people say he's weak, but he did win that tournament fair and square. So I think he would win just by his technique alone. Like, he might be able to out-technique him in a fight. But at the same time, I wonder if he has enough power to... Actually, no, I take that back. He is... you gotta remember, like, yeah, Viper is a big dude, no joke. But Hercule literally does superhuman things in the show. It's just that compared to Saiyans, it's nothing. Because when you actually compare Mr. Satan to regular humans, he's actually terrifying. It's just that he's surrounded by, like, planet busters. So, so he looks weak in comparison to the characters that are important. But if he was a person in real life, he'd be fucking insane. Because, like, Mr. Satan was able to pull 4 RV trucks with a chain. He pulled 4 RVs 4! He was able to rip, I think 3 phone books, and, I know that doesn't sound that bad, but it's like, apparently it's from West City, and if you want to make a comparison, it's supposed to be one of the most populated places in the world, so it could be like the equivalent of ripping the phone books from, like, New York or something. Like, that's insane. The dexterity you need to do that. He was able to chop through 19 ceiling tiles. In the Boo Saga, at least, because in the Cell Saga it was 14. Motherfucker would chop through the roof of your house. He could probably punch your fucking through your door. Like if you had a front door, he'd probably punch a hole right through that shit and then get right in.
Chris Pite says Ojima Yellow vs Gregory.
Hey boss, there's only room for one annoying character. Actually, I know that's funny and all, but, like, you gotta remember, there's actually a big difference between those two. One, Ojamas are, like, the whole joke about Ojamas is that they're fucking worthless. That's, like, the entire joke of Ojamas. They're literally garbage. So, like, the only thing the Ojamas have going for them, or their stupid wit, is their wit. Because, you know, they're just annoying you. Like, they'll just talk your ear to death. And say, and just, like, you know, they're just annoying. But they have no battle strength. Gregory, I know it doesn't seem like it, especially because you watch Kai where it's more cut down. But, like, Gregory is actually very strong, technically speaking. And you gotta remember, the dude's supposed to be a bug, like a grasshopper, but because of Kinkai's training in Otherworld, he's able to fling Goku off of his feet with a shockwave. And this is a Goku that just fought Raditz. And he was able to fling Goku with a finger.
Chris Pite says Wheeler vs Bubbles.
Oh, yeah, the monkey. The monkey from GX. Okay, unlike Gregory, I've never really seen Bubbles do anything extraordinary. Aside from, I mean, the only extraordinary thing I can say is how easily he's able to move in 10 times gravity without any issue. That's like the only real thing about Bubbles that's impressive to me, is how easily he moves in 10 times gravity. Other than that, Bubbles doesn't really seem to have any, like, innate powers like Gregory. He's just pure physical. That said, though, I feel like I know I'm just gonna this is just a joke. I'm not being serious about this. Wheeler would just use the thing that looks like a scouter, read the power level, and then fucking ape out and just leave. But even if that thing isn't a scouter and it just looks like one, the monkey would Bubbles would basically blitz him with speed. He would speed blitz Wheeler. He gets speed blitzed. Because, like I said, think about it. Think about this. This is how science works. If you can move at normal speeds in 10 times gravity, that means you can move much faster in normal gravity. Because that's how it works. So Bubbles would actually be fucking like the Flash on Earth. Motherfucker would be running like cheetah speeds practically. Probably faster than that. He'd be going as fast as like a race car. Fucking Bubbles be racing a freaking, like, a Camaro. Fucking Bubbles and Camaro have a drag race. Oh my god, that's funny.
Chris Pite says Bubbles vs Bubbles.
The winner is Bubbles. I am not specifying which Bubbles. Which Bubbles is it? I don't know. Any Bubbles. Come on, does anyone else have any suggestions? there's a lot of franchises I could do power scaling of from. I do watch a lot of Death Battle, so I know a good chunk. And I watch a lot of shows. It could be some other animes. It could be other stuff. It could be like, I don't know, TMNT or something. I don't care. Just put in something. So maybe some of those superheroes. I mean, I'm pretty knowledgeable about a good chunk of them. Oh, and by the way, I know Death Battle literally did this 3 fucking times already, but, like, pretty much anyone who's actually, like, someone who's, like, in the loop, in the power scaling loop, like Nemesis is, even though people will argue this until the end of time, Superman is clearly stronger. In fact, I think even Death Battle admitted that after the 3rd one, I think. Because he says the whole point is that Superman can't lose. That's like his whole character. It's like literally designed like that. But Goku has lost before. He has actually lost fights before. But Superman has never been defeated. The only time he ever really gets worn down is from Kryptonite, and if that's it. Otherwise, he like basically always beats the opponent.
Chris Pite says I genuinely need to research who would win between Tetsuo and Goku though, because at the end of the movie he becomes the god of his own universe. Anyways, what about Eggman vs Master Roshi?
Why Eggman? Actually, that reminds me, there's a new Death Battle that's coming out soon, and I'm actually looking forward to it. It's, what was it? Bowser's army versus Eggman's army. Honestly, that sounds fucking awesome. That's gonna be awesome, dude. That's gonna be... And honestly, when you actually think about it, because me and my brother talked about this, there's actually not even a full stomp in either direction. Like, that fight would actually be kind of close. Because, like, the Koopa army and, like, the Badniks, like, they're relative to each other, generally speaking. They can pretty much, like, go on par with each other. And, yeah, Bowser himself is stronger than Eggman himself, but Eggman can bring his own machines to help assist him and wear Bowser down with all his machines. And there's also characters like Metal Sonic he could use. Well, Bowser could use characters like his son or Kamek. I'm just saying, that would be a sick fight, dude. That would be such a sick fight. Anyway, Roshi and Eggman, that depends on what Roshi we're talking about, actually. Because, to be honest with you, Eggman's power scale isn't as high as you think it is. Unless you're talking about, like, the comic version.
Chris Pite says Cirrus, Gag Power, vs Mario.
I feel like you're also underestimating Mario. I know some versions of Mario are pretty weak, but some versions of Mario are way stronger than you think. Like, I think a lot of people lowball Mario.
Chris Pite says when he sets himself on fire in episode 2 and other gags like turning into a car.
Mario is still way too strong. Like I said, maybe he might be able to defeat, like, live-action Super Show Mario. Maybe he'll beat, like, 93 movie Mario. Those are the weakest Marios, I think. Or maybe some of those Marios that don't have any special powers and just have regular occupations, like in Wrecking Crew, or in the original Mario Bros, where they're just plumbers. I suppose then it could work. So yeah, if it's like one of the weak regular Marios that don't have any special feats, sure. But if you're talking about the Marios that actually have full adventures and you get to see the kinds of things he can do, no. Those Marios are on a whole different level from the other ones. Like Mario Galaxy might be one of the strongest Marios because, he basically, how do I put it? He's not... Actually, to be fair, the ending to Mario Galaxy 1 is weird, because technically it looks like they survive a supernova, but that's not really what happens. Because a lot of people like to think that people like to highball Mario and Bowser there because they think they survive a supernova, but that's not actually what happens. The thing is that Rosalina basically, like... Rosalina's essentially resetting the universe. Because, yeah, that's actually something she could do on command, by the way. In fact, there's actually a battle that she has with Silver, and it's not made by Death Battle, it's actually made by someone else. Where Silver, if you count the comic version of Silver, he can exist outside the time-space, and just exist outside of time itself. And Rosalina could just reset the universe to the beginning of the universe anytime she feels like it. That's just a thing she can do. So they didn't even get hit by the supernova because they were sent back. But Mario's able to, like... For one, breathing in space, which is fucking weird when you think about it, in Mario Galaxy. That's always been weird to me. I'm trying to think how to scale Mario, because Mario is, like... In some forms of media, Mario's able to take so much punishment and just tank it. Like, Mario's a tough motherfucker. He survived some crazy feats. Now, this one doesn't count because it's Paper Mario, but Paper Mario was able to survive a blast that sent him into orbit. Yeah? Seriously. And regular Mario actually has some
Chris
feats
Pite
that are like that, too.
says Angry Crowler at night vs Happy Wario at day.
These are getting weird. Here's the thing, we never see Crowler do anything physical, really. Like, he gets pissed, but you never see him do anything about it. Not physically. He's never gave me the impression that he's any kind of fighter. Like, the only time you could really cheat is if we're talking about a bridged Crowler, where we're planning to make him have a power level, because, you know, that's the whole joke we're going with. But, like... No, regular Crowler is, like, just a guy who gets pissed off because there's slacker students at school. That's all Crowler is. Slackers! He's crabby, but he's not powerful. That's the sad truth. You kind of can't compare Dragon Ball to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not fair. It's not even fair. If you want to even do a matchup at all, you'd have to do very early characters against characters with actual powers, like Akiza or like Merrick. It would have to be characters that, like, legit aren't regular people. It would have to be like the actual power characters. Otherwise, it wouldn't even really be a fight. I'm telling you, when it comes to I say just about every normal human being in Yu-Gi-Oh! Would all lose to even Yamcha when you first meet him.
Chris Pite says Gamuse vs Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, wasn't he the guy who made the CTGP mod? Right? He made the Mark Hurt Wii mod or something, I think. That's the only Mr. Bean I'm thinking of. Like... Also, I do kind of have a general idea of Gemus's power since he is my guy. He's not really, like, powerful. The whole thing with Gemus is that he's very tough. Because gems are stones, right? And stones are hard. And some gemstones are diamonds, and diamonds have a high hardness. So the whole idea is that he's a special type of gem that's harder than a diamond. That's the whole thing with him. He's harder than a diamond, but other than that, he isn't like his power kind of just depends on what my whim is, basically, because he's more like an avatar, and he kind of just exists to be cameoed. He kind of just cameos in whatever projects I put him in, and the power that he has is just whatever the hell I feel like it. Unlike my regular characters, which will have predefined strengths, Gemus is just flexible. He can just be as strong as I want him to be. Come on, is there anyone else who's going to talk to me? I looked at the chat. I know some of my other friends are there, right? You guys are watching,
Chris Pite
right?
says no, Mr. Bean is the British guy. Chris Pite says I think he's also like part of an alien clone race or something, I don't know.
Okay, now I'm confused. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't think I've been around to as many channels as you have. It's kind of my own fault, because people tell me about channels and, like, content and, like, stuff I have not seen all the time. Because unlike some people, I don't just randomly look for new channels every 5 minutes. Like, I'm not one of those adventurous types of people. I don't go out of my way to go, how many new channels I've never heard of am I going to look for now? I don't do that. I generally stick to the stuff I know, and sometimes I'll discover new channels over time gradually. It just kind of happens. And if I like it, then I add it to the list of things I'll watch. Other than that, I kind of just keep rewatching the same content creators that I'm already subscribed to. I try not to subscribe to too many things. So there's probably a lot of channels that I haven't actually watched. And a lot of my friends I've met over on Discord would usually have some channel they really love, but I've never heard of. Anyway, this is off topic. Now, if you want to say something like, I don't know, who... Akiza's probably one of the most obviously powerful characters, because, like, she doesn't even need an item to do it. She could just do it naturally. She could just naturally, like, spawn thorns and plants from nothingness
Chris
and, like,
Pite
trap you in it.
says you know, Mr. Bean, the show Mr. Bean.
I don't. She could probably beat some early Dragon Ball characters just because of her, ability to just spawn nature from pocket space. But even then, I think by the time that Roshi gets training, they become way too strong for any, and I do mean any Yu-Gi-Oh character. Okay, I know, I like how I said any Yu-Gi-Oh character, but I actually don't know much about how strong characters are after Zexal, so, don't bring up characters that come out after Zexal, because I wouldn't know. But all the characters I've seen before then, up to that point, like, there's not any characters in Yu-Gi-Oh that are strong enough to fight that. It's weird, though, because whenever they do have some kind of monster being or someone who's supposed to be strong, they never really seem to fight them. It's just always a duel. It's like, that's the problem to solve everything. It's just like in Puyo Puyo, where it's like, yeah, we solve all of our problems with matches. Yes, matches. There's no such thing as fighting for our freedom, no. We just solved every world's problem with our game. That's the meme of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, oh, we don't actually... We can't just arrest you, or we can't just kill you, or we can't just do that. No, no, no. It has to be done as a decision of a duel. Every single time.
Chris Pite says wait, have you seriously never heard of Mr. Bean? It's like as big as Harry Potter in the UK.
When I hear Mr. Bean, I think of a different person, so, uh... Yeah. I think it sounds familiar, but I definitely don't know anything about it. I just, like, I just know it's a channel. That's like all I know. It's just some channel. I didn't even know it was UK. I just knew it was something. It's like one of those things where it's like the name sounds familiar, but I don't know anything else. It is a coincidence though, because like I said, there actually is a guy who calls himself Mr. Bean, but I'm pretty sure it's a completely different person. He created CTGP, which is cool. That was back in like 2012, 2013 or some shit. That's how far back when he made that. I bet Harry Potter was the shit in the UK. I mean, all the voice actors are fucking UK. Those movies are British as fuck. See, there's another idea for you. Because you've seen those movies, obviously. If you say it's as big as Harry Potter, which implies that it's big over there, you must have seen one of them, right? I've actually seen those movies. One time. Yeah, only one time. But still, better than nothing. I remember some arguments that was being made. I was kind of hoping more people would give me suggestions here. This kind of stinks. I thought I made JC so that I could, engage with my audience, engage with my chat. That was kind of the idea here. But me and my cousin the other week, he was like asking me some what ifs too, and I was just, he was trying to, cause he's never seen One Piece yet. Well, he technically watched a couple episodes at the beginning, but he says that, I guess he just wasn't in the mood and he gave up on it too quickly. I told him, I was like, oh yeah, no, the beginning is a bit slow. You kind of have to sit through that, because it takes a little bit for it to pick up. The first few episodes of the show are kind of slow, I won't lie. But like, yeah, he needs to give it a second chance. But basically, because he knows that I watched all of it so far, like I'm already at the end of Wano. I've watched all of it up to there. And we both watched Naruto, so he tried like giving comparisons, like, hey, would this Naruto character beat this One Piece characters? And it was fun to talk about. Like, he was trying to ask me, it's like, who's like one of the strongest One Piece characters out there? And then he's like, would they survive the Saiyans? And honestly, no. No one from One Piece I've seen would survive the Saiyans. Not even currently. At least currently from my understanding, because I'm not as far as the sub is, because I watch it dubbed. And the manga is actually like a whole year ahead of the anime, but I don't know what happens at that point. Because I don't want to get spoils. I don't want spoiled. I just want to watch it dubbed. Leave me alone. But no, as far as I'm aware though, even characters like the Emperors, even the Emperors of the Sea would get fucking slapped by Nappa. That's the truth. I know in One Piece they drag on Kaido's fight so long. They kind of give you the impression that Kaido's this unbeatable force. But that's the thing, he's only near unbeatable compared to Luffy and the other characters. You gotta remember, it's all about relativity. Kaido is just that strong compared to other characters in that verse. For someone like Nappa, who could just finger flick a continent away, I don't think that's a fair fight. Now, if we're talking about Raditz, because like I said, Nappa would just fucking wipe any character from One Piece. That one's harder to tell, actually. I'll be honest. That one's harder to tell between the two of them. If, like, Kaido fought, like, Raditz. I think Raditz probably still wins, but it wouldn't be as near as a stomp. I don't think it would be a stomp like Nappa. I feel like that would actually be a fight with some action in it. Like, I feel like that would actually be a fight that would take some time to finish. Actually, no, well, maybe. Because you gotta remember, Goku's Super Kamehameha he uses against Raditz is like mountain destroying level. And Raditz was actually able to block it, although it took him a lot of effort to do so. But he did block it. Nah, forget what I said. Raditz stomps, but the only thing I would say is that it probably won't be that fast of a fight, because one thing Kaido does have going for him is that he is very durable. He's very durable. So at the relative power that they were at, I feel like Raditz would have to throw a lot of attacks at him before he stays down. But at the same time, I don't think Kaido has anything strong enough to hurt Raditz either. So I feel like Raditz would just have to win the war of attrition here and just outlast him. If we go back further to Piccolo Jr., it's similar story, but I think there's a much better chance that Kaido might actually win the War of Attrition. Because Raditz is definitely winning the War of Attrition. But against Piccolo Jr., I think there's actually a chance he could pull one out. Not to say that they, it's still kind of lopsided on one side, because I think Piccolo is more durable. I think Piccolo can take more punishment than Kaido can in this case, because I think Piccolo has a higher power output. But like I said, he's so durable, he could probably take a lot of his hits before he stays down. So I feel like if he could, and one thing I've noticed with Dragon Ball, because if you've seen that fight, which you haven't, I know Chris hasn't, Piccolo actually gets worn out after a few of his big blasts. He doesn't have a lot of stamina for throwing big moves. So I feel like if he wore himself out with a couple of his mountain level hits, and Kaido survives them, he'd be able to beat him because he's tired. Then again, like I said, it is a attack so powerful it vaporized a mountain off the face of the planet, and there's no feats in One Piece that are that strong. Even at best, the strongest attacks you see are always strong enough to destroy, like, parts of a city. Like, at best, you might have a small city, like a town level attack, and that's highballing it, having high town level moves. A mountain is way more scape to blow up than a town. Though, knowing how tenacious the guy is, he'd probably still be alive after one of those.
Says Greg Heffley vs Light Yagami.
I know who Light is. He's from Death Note. But who's the other guy again? You would have to, honestly, the fight kind of depends on circumstances. For one, you gotta think about this. Light would probably never be in a situation where he'd even be vulnerable to a fight. The whole idea is that he hides in the shadows, and then once he finds out who you are, he kills you with the book. That's how he works. Which honestly makes him an idiot in the Cell games What If, because Light would have never done that in the actual show. He would have never just randomly walked up to the Cell Games right in front of him just to basically tell him, oh yeah, I'm going to kill you, by the way. Because, you know, the whole idea is that he's sneaky. Yeah, there's some times where he makes contact with other characters, usually investigators, but usually he just does that because there's no possible way for him to hide. So he just makes the best of it and just acts innocent. I don't know what Greg does, but if he's also supposed to be like a spy or something, or someone who fights behind the... he's not like a straightforward brawler. If he's another type of guy who hides in the background and tries to find another way to kill the enemy, then maybe it'll be a more interesting fight, because that's how you win against Light, is that you gotta outwit
Chris
him.
Pite says Diary of a Wimpy Kid, also fist fight to death, no death note.
Yeah, but at the same time, how is he going to know that that Light even has the Death Note? Also, are you talking about the guy who has the Death Punch? The Death Punch where you die in 6th grade or whatever? I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something like dumb like that. I guess if it was a meme fight, it would work. If it was like a meme battle, and he just wins with the Death Punch. He's like, oh, you might have the Death Note, but I have the Death Punch! Ugh. Dang. Why does that sound like the fucking... Oh yeah, that would've been funny. The Death Kwon-Do users in regular show versus other characters. That would be funny. That was basically their way of sort of having something anime-like in the show. Because, like, you literally eat these special sandwiches, and you also have to wear very specific clothing. And for whatever reason, if you wear that clothing and eat the sandwich, you're able to learn a special type of martial art that kills people. They actually, apparently that episode was so popular, they made 2 sequel episodes to it, so the show has 3 episodes about Death Kwon-Do. In the second one, they actually fight the Grandmaster of Death Kwon-Do, who somehow is so proficient at it that he can just levitate, like he literally just levitates when he fights. Motherfucker just floats.
Says, do you mean the cheese touch?
What do you mean cheese touch? No, I remember in Diary one of the... I don't know if it was in the movie or one of the books, they said that, like, one 6th grader, if he punches you, he says, you don't die right away, but you die in the 6th grade. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read those and watched the movie. I haven't seen the movie in like maybe 5 or 6 years at least. Fucking death. It's funny though, the fucking death sandwich is like, if anyone who eats it who isn't a user of Death Kwon-Do just dies. I'm just like, what? But apparently, if you're a user of the martial art, you just magically have the immune system to block it. It makes no sense. And then they apparently have a double death sandwich, which is so powerful, it can even kill a Death Kwon-Do user if they eat it. So that's how they actually kill the Grandmaster, because the Grandmaster offers them either a double death sandwich or a sandwich of life, which will heal someone who ate a sandwich of death, or death sandwich. because it's not an instant death thing. Apparently, at least when Benson had a bite, it's like a slow death. It's like if you give them a sandwich of life, they live. So while they were fighting him, they accidentally made him drop his own double death sandwich into his mouth, and he just dies. It's kind of hilarious. That's a good show. You can watch it. But yeah, no, in the first episode's the most straightforward one, because Rigby's like pissed off that he always is that he has weaker arms than his friend. So he's like, I want to make sure I can win punchies. So he just finds this guy, you know, the Death Kwon-do sensei. And basically, and then the guy tells him that he's not going to teach him the martial art because it's supposed to be a self-defense thing. It's not supposed to be used for vengeance. So Ruby just fucking steals a page of the book in front of him. Like he's not looking, like he's looking away while giving a lecture. So he just runs up, snatches one of the lessons from the book, and just runs away. So he learned the death punch. Although it doesn't actually seem to kill people instantly, it is still really powerful and it almost kills a lot of characters. Like, Rigby just started throwing it at random people, and I think some of the civilians did die, but then he hit a couple of the actual park characters and they got, like, injured instantly.
Chris Pite says Michael Jackson, Moonwalker movie, vs. Krillin.
Again, you are lowballing Krillin really fucking hard. This is a common thing. Hell, there's a whole video made by, I think, Seth the Programmer did it. A video on why everyone underestimates Krillin. And there's also videos about how everyone underestimates Tien and Yamcha, too. Because those characters are so much stronger than a lot of casual fans think. Because people like to, basically they assume that just because they're not fighting the main villains, that just automatically makes them weak. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Krillin would still slap the majority of fiction. I know that sounds hilarious, but it's true. It's just, I don't think some people realize just how strong Dragon Ball characters actually are. You gotta remember, in Super, he was actually in the Tournament of Power. He was in there. He was a member of Universe 7 in that tournament. And he actually does beat some of the other universe's top fighters. Krillin is no pushover. Okay, technically Roshi Roshi was there too, but that was just because they needed a 10th member, and Roshi wasn't really winning through his raw power. He was just winning through age and experience and
Chris
by
Pike
using traps and stuff.
Says I'm picking Krillin because I know he's strong, but I'm not gonna pick someone like Goku because he would destroy Michael Jackson.
Well, it's kind of late for that, because he's already dead, you know? I do miss him, though. Honestly, he was a perfectionist, because he released some of the most influential crap in the 80s and 90s and all that. Like, he made the top of the charts, and he still thought he wasn't good enough. That comes to show a true passion for the art form. The fact that even when you release something that tops the charts, you're still unsatisfied with it because it's not perfect. He was aiming to be perfect, and that's admirable. If I remember correctly, even when the Thriller album came out, he still said that he wasn't satisfied with it, which is crazy. It's insane. I've never seen the movie, to be honest, but I know the gist of it, and I also saw the Genesis game based off the movie. um, from what I know, Michael doesn't really do anything supernatural in the movie, not that I know of. Um, and even if he does, it's probably something really subtle. It's probably not anything, like, strong. And even if we take in consideration the game version, where you can turn him into a fucking cyborg killing machine, yes, you could turn Michael Jackson into a robot in that game. That's an actual thing in the game. He'd still get slapped by Krillin.
Chris Pite says, I mean the fictional movie version.
Yeah, does Michael do anything special in the movie?
Chris Pite says, yeah, in the movie he turns into a robot.
Still, Krillin's way too strong for that to matter. Because, other than him being a robot that has laser guns on him, he's still just a guy. Like, Goku already shows in original Dragon Ball that military might is nothing to him because he does defeat the entire Red Ribbon Army, which is basically that world's military force. Goku single-handedly takes down the fucking military in OG Dragon Ball. That is a thing. Now, of course, Krillin at that earlier point in the story says that he would have never fought the whole army at once, which is fair. But Krillin's power level has gone up so much since then that, like, Super Krillin would just flick the whole army away and they die. Then again, Krillin has an arc in Super where he gets really rusty because he doesn't fight anymore, and it actually got to a point where when a bad guy shot him with a gun, it actually caused a scrape to be on. It actually caused him to get a scrape on his arm. So Krillin's really rusty. Still, though, even at the power level he was at when he was a cop, he'd kill him, or he'd win. Like, that robot is not going to be enough to kill Krillin.
Chris Pite says Peter Griffin vs Homer Simpson vs Farmer with Shotgun vs Chicken Guy from Toy Story 2.
You mean Owl? Gonna make some bucks. Okay, first things first. Out of those four. Wait, so Owl, Homer, Peter, and the farmer. One thing I can tell you right now, the farmer's fucked. The farmer is fucked. Actually, Al is fucked too, because here's the thing. Remember, Toy Story is a pretty, like, realistic story, other than the sentient toys part. Other than the sentient toys thing, Toy Story is a very grounded universe. Characters don't really do anything abnormal. Like, Al is just a con artist. That's all he is. He's just a con artist. He also looks like a geek and a nerd, which probably makes him even weaker. The farmer would kill him because he has a shotgun. So there's that. The shotgun. The farmer... Now, the shotgun might be considered really scary. Now, when it comes to Simpsons material, I've seen a lot of episodes, but I've also haven't seen a lot of episodes because it's such a long show. There's so many fucking episodes of Simpsons. From what I've seen, I think Homer would also die if he got hit by the shotgun. I don't think Homer has that, like, gun durability power. Like, I feel like he'd get shot down. Now, here's the part that's funny. From what I know about Peter, Peter would whip his ass. Because, it's actually a running gag in Family Guy where whenever Peter gets really pissed off, especially when he fights the chicken, he just suddenly gets a huge power amp and just does a bunch of superhuman shit out of nowhere. So if you piss off Peter and you have a rivalry fight with him, he just suddenly stops being a normal human being, just randomly. Because, like, Motherfucker, like, fell from a helicopter into a nuclear power plant, and he came out fine. He's fine, folks. Um, yeah, so Peter, that version of Peter would just say fuck you to the gun, and then fuck you to the, to the farmer. The farmer would get fucking pummeled. Peter wins that four-way fight, and Al would be the joke character, honestly, because Al is just dead. I think Homer has some feats where he might be able to tank a few extra... he might take a shot, maybe. I feel like Homer is a little bit more likely to take more than one shot to kill, but he probably wouldn't be able to do anything to the farmer in time. Maybe if Homer was able to sneak up on him and put him in a chokehold, he'd probably kill him with his famous choke. Just chokes the farmer. Why, you little? Just kills the farmer with the choke. That could probably happen. Because Homer has has been shown to have some pretty strong strength if he's actually up close to you. If he can actually touch you and get up to you, he can actually strangle you. It's just that he doesn't really have anything he could do to deal with long-range weapons. So I guess Homer's a iffy situation. If he can get close to the farmer, then he wins. If the farmer catches on too quickly and shoots him, he wins. But Peter just wins no matter what, because he's the one character out of the four that you mentioned that actually has superhuman feats. Because, I think Homer might have some slightly big feats that I'm probably missing, because, like I said, I can't be bothered to remember everything in The Simpsons. He probably has had some feats that are beyond human, maybe, but I doubt anything that's as crazy as when Peter was fighting the chicken. Actually, I'm surprised you didn't add more characters to that what if, like Hank. Because Hank is a weird case. Now, if we just ignore that one video...
Chris Pite says Jesus vs Mario from Mario's Time Machine vs CDI Link vs Baby Trunks.
That's a really weird... Wow. Whoa. Here's the thing about Mario's Time Machine. That's an educational game, and there isn't really any combat in that game. Like, you just walk around and learn about history. Then you have to solve history puzzles. That's Mario's Time Machine. It's not an action game. It's a knowledge gathering quiz game. Yes, there is technically, after you complete a few levels, there is a Koopaling to fight, but those fights barely count as fights because the Koopaling doesn't even hurt you. Yeah, seriously, you literally don't get hurt by the Koopaling. And all you do is jump on him a few times and he just gives up. That's the boss fights in that game. Now, Baby Trunks, here's the thing. If Baby Pan from Dragon Ball Super has taught us anything, then Baby Trunks still has a lot of power despite being a baby. Because Baby Pan was actually able to fly into the stratosphere in one episode by herself. Like, she literally flies out to the exosphere. She basically travels to the edge of the atmosphere just because she felt like it. Baby Pan just flies into space. Then there's... I have to keep looking at this because I keep forgetting who you're talking about. CDI Link is not very strong, but I'd say that he kills, I don't think... I think he's probably still at least strong enough to beat fucking Mario's Time Machine Mario. Because at least Link actually fights enemies in his own game. His game is combat and platforming focused. So Link is actually going out killing people. And he kills these demonic beings with his, with his sword beams and his bombs and all that. He has way too many things in his arsenal. I know CDI Link is memed on, but he actually does have some of the same abilities as some of the other Links. I still call him one of the weaker ones, but still, like, Link from CDI could actually kill you. He'd probably kill Baby Trunks too, although, realistically speaking, Link would not have the morality to do that, but still. Um, and then there's Jesus, which is such a big outlier. Like, why is this even a question? Like, it's fucking Jesus. I think Jesus has it covered. I think he can take care of those guys. A fucking baby Saiyan, a swordsman with some equipment in his pocket dimension, and a fucking, and a guy who teaches you history while jumping around through a time machine.
Chris Pite says Santa vs William the Conqueror vs John Wick vs Farmer with shotgun.
I have an unfortunate thing to tell you. Despite I know who you're talking about, but I still have not seen any John Wick movie. Also, what the fuck is William the Conqueror? Who in the heck is that? I don't know who you're talking about. I really wish I had some of my other normal friends here, because they would have asked me questions that were more sensible and easier to talk about, and something that was a more popular topic, I don't know. But I have the misfortune of having Chris be the only guy here, so he's going to keep on asking these odd matchups on purpose. I don't have any regular suggestions. Come on, is anyone else watching this? Anybody? At all? Only 5 and 2 concurrent? Oh my gosh. What, was versus debates not popular? How did Bloodreich get away with it? Lucky little bastard with his subscriber count. He can get away with stuff like this. I can't tell you an answer for that last matchup, though, because I don't even know who one of the characters is. One of the other characters I kind of know, but I don't really have a good idea to judge what he can do. Santa's just fucking weird to bring up because, like, in most media, he doesn't really have any offensive power. Like, the powers he have are, like, not really combat related. And then there's just the farmer, where it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he could probably kill Santa, I think. For what I know about John Wick, though, he would murder the farmer because the guy literally, like, kills, like, tons of people in his movies, like fucking Dynasty Warriors. Just kills everyone. So I don't think one farmer is gonna kill him. And I have no idea what to say about William, whoever the fuck William is. So as far as I'm aware, John wins, but that's only because I don't know who William is. Yeah, no, I don't know who the heck you're talking about. Okay, though, like I said, characters in Dragon Ball, like those side characters, like Krillin and Yamcha, like, and also characters in other shows like that too, like some of the side characters in what was I gonna say? But yeah, no, like they're so much stronger than you think. Mario characters are also a lot stronger than you think. To be fair, though, that's because Mario has this sort of like cartoon logic to its plot sometimes. Like Mario has this sort of cartooniness to it. So like characters can just do absurd things just because. I think it's actually one of the benefits that Naruto and especially One Piece has, is because Dragon Ball scaled itself way too fast, way too quickly. Most of the show technically doesn't make sense when you think about it, because at this point later in the story, like in the Android Saga, for example, or in the Buu Saga, like how aren't the characters accidentally blowing up the planet every single time they throw a punch? The only thing that they have going for it is that they did have a flimsy excuse for this, because someone did ask that. It's like, why doesn't everyone just blow up the planet at this point? It's because Dragon Ball has something called power suppression. People can suppress their power to a certain amount, so they output less of their strength. And that's how people aren't just instantly vaporizing planets in all these fights. Is that characters in later arcs are literally suppressing themselves, because if they don't, then they just vaporize the arena they're fighting on.
Chris Pite says Joey Tribbiani vs me Sword Fighter vs Rex Raptor vs Rando.
Wait, Joey Tribbiani? Tribbiani? One, Rando literally has no feats at all, because the guy literally, like, he's not even eligible for verses. He's way too minor of a character. He's literally just a guy. Like, he doesn't do anything. He exists for, like, one episode, and he never comes back. Mies don't really have much of, in the case of evidence for anything, because, like, the Mies aren't really characters. Like, they don't even really count as characters. Like, yeah, you could play as them, but they're just supposed to be, your avatar with the fighting style attached. It's not even its own character. I don't know if the text, like, fucked up the name, because I don't know who this Joey Tribbiani is. Rex just duels, so, like, where's the strength there? The guy just plays card games. He's not a fucking brawler.
Chris Pite says Uncle Phil vs Gaku.
Why is that? Why am I... That sounds really familiar to me. Uncle Phil. Wait, isn't he supposed to be from, like, a talk show or something? I'm trying to remember. Also, this is a very one-sided conversation, by the way. This is not how I wanted my versus debate to go at all. I wanted there to be more people here.
Says Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, I don't watch that. Anyway, I would have really preferred it if I had more people here giving me suggestions. But not only that, but I didn't want this to be a one-sided conversation, because all this is right now is requests and then my answers to the requests. There's no debate here. Like, where's the debate at? No one's debating with me. Oh, this whole thing is a failure. My last Just Chat was so much better than this one. Oh, great. Bad timing. Okay, so I looked at some Discord. Zol actually is watching this, and unfortunately, he actually... See, I wish... I kind of want to wait for him, because he told me that he actually is up to talk about this. He actually wants to talk about this, but he's out of the house at the moment. He's not home. Oh, boy. That's a shame. At least there's someone who's enthusiastic about it, just because I gotta talk to someone, and I mean someone who isn't trying to troll me like you are, Chris, buddy. I know how you are, dude. You just like to mess with me. And you think I don't see what you're doing? You're just pulling stuff from like GX a lot, and also like, okay, to be fair, some of them are fair comparisons. So like, I kind of like that one question with because did you know Peter versus Homer was an actual death battle? Did you know that? That was an actual death battle. That actually happened. And Peter won, by the way. I need to rewatch that then, because I think they brought up feats that Homer has that I just don't remember. They go so far. By the way, against Mario and Sonic, it depends on the version of them. Because they did have two fights, although the second fight, I really don't like to count the second fight at all, because if you actually watch the Sonic versus Mario second battle, you can tell that whoever the artist was who made that animation had a huge fucking bias. Like, it's obvious. For some reason, I don't know why, the guy just wanted Mario to suffer. Mario just suffers in that fight. Like, I feel like it's like a Mario hater made that. It was weird. The first fight they had was one of my favorite episodes, actually, because the fight was just so clean, and everything they used against each other made sense. Like, they brought up their power-ups and all that, and they had, like, these cool, neat little interactions of how each power-up interact with each other power-up. Sonic ends up winning at the end, but like, it felt like a close fight. Like, Sonic just basically had to outrun him and tire him out to kill him at the end.
Chris Pite says Raditz vs Dragon Ball Floor Theory Floor vs Sonic Schoolhouse Sonic vs Will Smith.
What, huh? What? I was kind of trying to imply something there, Chris. I was implying that, get the hint, my man. Okay, now I need to go back to fucking YouTube because I need to reread that. Whatever the hell that was I just heard. look, he's just an actor. He's not going to have the power of the characters he portrays. He is a real-life person. And he isn't like a real-life person who has meme powers, like, I don't know, Chuck Norris. He's just Will Smith. Like, it'd be the same as saying, if I fought somebody. It's like, it's just Will Smith. Also, again, you're pulling educational games where there's no feats. So, like, I can't even scale Sonic. There's no way to scale him in that game. And that's the problem with Versus. You gotta pick characters that actually have evidence to how strong they are. You need examples of power. You can't just pull any character you want, because some characters literally have no power scaling. And if a character has no scaling, then there's no way you can know. Also, no, there's no fucking way in hell that Raditz would lose to a floor. You might think your plan sounds cool, but you gotta remember that the majority of Dragon Ball characters have this little thing known as flying. So yeah, good luck with your dumbass plan. Just saying, bro. Like, what the point of something that would probably kill a normal person in a series that has pretty much no one who's normal? Unless you want to, like, make a mockery of yourself and kill Mr. Satan that way.
Chris Pite says Mario is missing Luigi. vs Sonic Schoolhouse. Sonic vs Mario teaches typing. Head vs 7 Granddad.
The hell is 7 Granddad? Still, like I said, there's not really any way to put them against each other. Like, sure, you could make a fight animation with them if you want, but there's, like, no evidence to support who's stronger than the other by anything. Like, those games have no feats. Like, it's literally just a bunch of mini-games where the characters aren't even really doing anything. It's like, and even if there are feats, they're like the most minuscule things ever that probably wouldn't make a difference in the grand scheme of anything. Those games just don't have enough going on in them. There's just no way to know. It's like, yeah, it's just Sonic, but, like, what does Sonic do in this universe? Like, what version of Sonic is it? For Mario, it's like, okay, what does he do in these games? Does he do anything? The answer is inconclusive. There's no way to tell. It's an impossible question. At least someone like Zool, who hopefully makes it, and maybe Goof to an extent. I feel like I have to ask them again. Goof actually is a regular watcher of Death Battle, so like he knows a thing or two about power scaling and how that all works. He knows the rules. He kind of knows the gist, kind of like I do, and I think Zool knows too. I think we get the idea of how this all works. Chris, though, I'm starting to feel like you don't get how power scaling works at all. Like
Chris Pite
you never watched
says
this.
Scott Pilgrim comic vs video game vs movie vs anime.
That sounds interesting, but I don't know enough about Scott Pilgrim to say anything. That one's on me. I don't know enough about it. I wouldn't know. I remember when we watched the live-action movie with Menace and friends that one time, but, like, I've never read the comics or the anime. just the movie. And I've seen the movie like once. Yeah, no, that's all I know. I don't have enough information about Scott. If I knew more about Scott, then I could say something. I don't know enough about Scott. Of course, if someone else, like you, because you seem to like Scott Pilgrim, you could probably guess yourself. You could probably make a guess at how strong each of them are. People who are Scott fans could totally power scale Scott within Scott. I don't know, though. You need someone in here who knows more about Scott. But yeah, no, I'm starting to get the feeling that you're just trolling and memeing. I don't even think you understand, like, how versus debates work. There's a whole science to it. Like, there's a specific way people talk about power scaling. There's, like, its own discussion topic. It's just, like, its own category of discussion. Because, yeah, that's why I call it power scaling. There's actually whole articles about what power scaling means and how you do it. Because when you research a character's power, there's a whole bunch of criteria you have to meet, and you have to basically...
Chris Pite says Giro Zeppeli vs Gordon Ramsay.
Wait, wasn't he like the chef, or like wasn't he like isn't he the dude from like Hell's Kitchen or something, or was that someone else? Or wasn't he like that martial arts instructor guy, or was that a different person? Because I remember there's two people with very similar names. I just know that they both have Ramsley in their name. One of them is like a chef, and one of them is like a martial arts teacher or something. Something Ramsley. I don't know. Also, Gyro Zeppeli. I'm sorry, you had me lost there. I don't know who you're talking about. Gyro Zeppeli. That doesn't even sound familiar at all. I'm guessing he's another food guy. He's probably another food guy. Because maybe his name is Gyro because of gyros. You know, like the fuck, gyros. The food.
Chris Pite says he's the chef. Chris Pite says Giro is from Jajas. Chris Pite says pizza mozzarella.
Huh, wait, where in JoJo was this? Wait, are you talking about the chef that they thought was a stand user? Or, I mean, he was, but they thought that he was like a bad guy, but then they realized at the end of the episode that he's just a nice guy with a stand. That was a pretty funny episode, though, I won't lie, because they like, do all these, like, fake-out gags where they make it look like a character's gonna die or something, but then it's like, oh, wait, never mind, it was just their imagination. It didn't actually happen. He's like, fooled you! They, like, make you think that he has malicious intent. But no, it's just a regular guy giving the cast food. That's what I'm thinking of when you say a chef or like talk about pizza. It just reminds me of that guy that, like I said, they just cooked up the Jotaro's group just some food, and it just makes them feel healthy and feel good. And that's all his stand just does. His stand just cooks good food. His stand was not evil at all. What do you... What? When did I ever say that Gordon was from JoJo? I said Gyro.
Chris Pite says no, Gordon Ramsay is the chef, Hero is from JoJo's.
I hate how he pronounces that wrong. I don't know if I'm even thinking of the right guy, but like I said, there was a character in an episode of JoJo that everyone thought was evil, but because you know, he had a stand, and they've been fighting evil stands like constantly in that season. But then the whole episode's a giant fake out because the guy was just a nice stand user who wasn't even trying to kill them. Like, I have to admit, it actually caught me off guard too because it was a good trick. They did a good job hiding it. If that's not the guy you're talking about, then I can't seem to think of anyone else who has a pizza relation in JoJo. Gyro. Then again, I've only watched through the show one time. Okay, technically I watched the first 2 seasons 2 times, but season 3 onwards I've only ever seen it like once. We're not season 3, part 3, because they call them parts. I still waiting for the show to continue, by the way, because the show's not over, because Jolene's arc was the last arc we got. The ending is really somber, though. It's such a weird way to end a show. Like, holy shit. It just... Oh. To imagine having a character who, there was a villain who basically was able to jump billions of years into the future to, where apparently in the JoJo verse, every few billion years the universe resets and repeats itself. So, like, he's able to just, like, repeat history, but change it the way he wants in every new timeline, essentially. But Emporio actually, traveled alongside him, which really pissed him off because he didn't want anyone else to travel with him. So he was able to kill him, and since this is billions of years in the future, all of his friends don't even know him, because it's a different timeline, essentially. It's just such a sad ending. It's like
Chris
Emporio
Pite
is now the only
says,
person...
wait, was Giro even introduced in the anime? I haven't read the manga or anime.
Freaking... Emporio is like the only person left on the planet who has any memory of billions of years ago. No one else even knows about it but him. I don't know, man. I mean, the anime pretty much uses the same stuff as the manga, although the manga predates the anime by a long time. Like, they made the manga back in, like, the 90s, but they didn't even start making the anime until, like, the 2010s. I'm not even kidding. The anime was that far behind. But the manga stopped a long time ago. Like, I think they already made part 8 many years ago, but then they're going to make part 8 in the anime. And part 9 is, I think, still being made in the manga because the anime was so popular that they actually decided to finally add new parts to the manga years later. So the manga is still being made and the anime is still being made. JoJo is still incomplete. It's a very interesting case, I'd say. Wait, then what do you know JoJo from if you've never seen the manga or the anime? What did you see? I'm guessing that you only know it from random meme clips and that's it? Like, you just saw some meme clips? That's all you know of JoJo? Like, you haven't seen anything else other than just some memes? I'm guessing you probably heard of some of them then, like the "Oh my God" meme. If you don't know about it, that one's great because there's a running gag where Jonathan just goes, "Oh my God." It's really funny. Um, then there's of course "Good Grief." That's another one. Something Jotaro says a lot. This one's also kind of a long. I don't know if I don't even know if it's a meme or not. But there's a whole episode of JoJo Part 3 specifically. There's like a whole episode that's like meme worthy, and it's like considered one of the best episodes in the series. People love talking about it. That's the fucking poker episode. The poker episode's amazing.
Chris Pite says, I know the joke, it was me Dio.
Dio was such a funny character. I can't lie. Um, in fact, Dio was such a popular villain compared to every other villain. He's practically the only one who returns because other villains in the series kind of just get offed in the season they come in and they don't come back. Because, like, season 1, or part 1, it was Dio as the main villain. He gets defeated by Jonathan. Then, in season 2, part 2, Cars is the villain. He gets
says,
defeated.
no, I mean the meme where he says, it was me Dio.
Then, in part 3, and technically part 4, Dio is the main villain again. This time he actually does get legitimately killed, though, by Jotaro. After that, they just have different villains each arc. Each part has a new villain with a new power. One thing I always found weird, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or if it's supposed to be clever.
Says Aitso, which characters are comparing today?
Oh, you're finally here? Well, honestly, I'm... Weird stuff, because Chris just keeps asking me about the weirdest matchups ever. He's not even trying to be reasonable about it. He's making my job harder by asking the most fucking bizarre matchups ever. And I keep trying to explain to him why some of these matchups are either easy stomps because he has an outlier character, or two, in the case of one of them, some of these verses don't even make sense, and you can't even scale any of them, so, like, there's no way to answer. I was just talking to about JoJo for a minute, because I kind of got off topic, to be honest, the last, like, 3 minutes. Just talk about JoJo, because he brought up a JoJo character. Anyway, now, you get, I feel like, unlike Chris here, I feel like you have a better understanding of how this works, about how versus debates works. You probably watch Death Battle, right? You ever seen, like, videos from, like, Seth the Programmer or Nemesis Bloodreich, for example? They do a good job at power scaling. They get the idea. I watch them. And he wasn't even really discussing it with me. Chris was just spouting random verses and was expecting me to answer them. That's not really debating. That's just inquiring, and then, like, he's not engaging me at all, Zul. Because, you know, the whole point of the stream is that I'm supposed to be, like, debating who would win with the chat, but the chat isn't really responding. Chris is the only one who's talking to me, and all he's doing is giving me suggestions. He's not even arguing anything I say.
MTZ Yule says, well, as long as we don't get another ROFL stomp like I saw in Space Battles with De Bloods vs Darth Maul, XD. MTZ Yule says, I've lurked in Space Battles in sufficient velocity, so I'm familiar with the method.
So you kind of get the whole, power scaling idea. You gotta look for feats, you gotta look for, because that's one of the most important things. You need to see feats. Because if your character doesn't have feats, then there's no way to know how strong they are. Um, like, you need evidence, and that's the reason why that one question he asked about, the educational Mario and Sonic game characters, of like, there's no evidence to their power level, so there's no way to know. Like, you need to have a character who actually has something to scale. There's something they need to have scaled. Now, you could take some liberties with some characters, like, oh, they're bigger or they're taller or something, but, like, they need to have feats in general to really know how strong they are. You need to have some evidence. Like, and then, of course, there's all these power tiers that you put characters into, which makes explaining the difference between them easier to quantify and understand. Like, maybe this character is street level, this character is country level, this person's continental, the guy's a planet buster. Like, you get what I mean. And these categories can get pretty specific. There's actually quite a lot of them. Like, there's a difference between, for example, wall level, street level, town level, city level, large city level. There's like mountain.
MTZ Yule says exactly. For example, there was a scene in MLPFIM where we see Applejack's kicking strength. She kicked a huge ice mass to the stratosphere XD.
What, like a full glacier? Like an iceberg? She just kicks it into the stratosphere? Oh my god. You don't mess with the country girl, do you? She'll kick your ass. I kind of know how powerful they are because Death Battle has had Twilight and Pinky in a fight. So I've seen them. Although, to be fair, the Pinky one wasn't really a real fight. It was sort of just a meme fight with Deadpool. So I don't know how much I can really count that as a fight. Twilight was a real fight, though. And she actually beat a Transformer. I'm like, bro, Transformers are no joke. And you're saying that thing beat them? If I remember correctly, I think the theme of why that fight happened is because Transformers and MOP were kind of considered like counterparts to each other back in the 80s. Because, you know, Transformers was like the most popular boy thing, and MOP was the most popular girl thing, like, at the time. That they were both out about because they were both airing at like the same time. And if I remember correctly, they're both owned by the same company technically. Now, I wouldn't really know how to explain
MTZ
an
Yule
MLP battle.
says this would be easier if I didn't have so much delay with the video. Sad face. MTZ Yule says context. She kicked a frozen lake V. MTZ Yule
Well,
says Pinkie Pie might as well be operating under Toon logic, and I know well how careful you need to be against them.
Toon Force characters are fucking... Ugh. Well, it depends if she has unrestricted Toon Force
MTZ
or regular
Yule
Toon Force.
says also I believe the chatbot broke V.
Actually, Zool, I don't know if you're able to do this, but I would be okay with it. If you go into my Discord channel, you can open up the stream chat. If you're not like busy or anything, like if you're able to do that. Anyway, no, if there's any debates about ponies, you would have to be the guy. You're gonna have to be my brony for me, because I don't fucking know. I wouldn't know shit. I swear, I think... Actually, I forgot there was a third time they had a character from that show on there. Discord fought, Bill Cipher. Yeah, that was a good fight, actually. I liked that one. Because they're both, like, reality warping demonic forces, practically. Like, that's, like, the kind of power they have. I don't watch the show, but there was one thing they pointed out that actually, I will admit, it does sound funny. Apparently, Discord was bored one day and decided that he'd use his power to create, or he basically like changed the
MTZ Yule.
script of the
Says
episode.
Usher. I can join you there. MTZ
Yeah.
Yule. Says I'm there now, laughing face. Chris Pite. Says hydrogen bomb vs coughing baby.
So let's go. First off, I need to change my Discord source. I need to make sure I update it. Update my Discord source real quick. And there. I think you should be coming in now.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Can everyone hear me?
Wait, are you talking? Because I see the green
am.
bar going up.
Yeah, I am.
How
Wow,
come my
wow,
headphones aren't
wow.
picking it up?
Oh no. Wow, wow, wow.
Wait a minute. It could be my Discord settings.
I'm sure it's your Discord settings. They usually are.
Of course it was. Thanks, Discord.
I knew it. I knew it.
It was my Discord settings again.
I knew it.
It happens every time.
Yeah.
Okay,
At
but
this
yeah,
point,
no.
it's a running gag. That's
Yeah.
people what we call a running gag.
But yeah, no,
So-
you probably know more than I do, but when I saw that death battle, though, Discord was, like, crazy. Like, he could just break the fourth wall and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna rewrite this episode because I can.
Full disclosure, yeah, compared to you, I might as well be a brony compared to you. But let me tell you, I know barely anything about My Little Pony. All I know is because of internet osmosis.
Yeah, well, maybe we should just stop talking about them.
I do know, however,
We
that
don't know what we're
Discord is
talking about.
absolutely broken. I know that Discord is absolutely broken because he's a reality warper. Canonically, he's a reality warper. The only reason he's not out there causing chaos is because, well, Fluttershy befriended him, and he's like, I'm gonna die protecting this little pony.
How the fuck did she manage that?
She's just that good.
Who would have thought it was the character that, like, her whole personality is that she's, like, trying to avoid people?
She's an To be fair, she's the biggest animal lover ever, and if anyone is going to give her a run for her money, it's that little bunny bastard. That little bunny's an asshole. That's probably how she got the practice to deal with Discord.
I wish I knew who you were talking about. I don't know who this bunny is. Like I said,
It's
I don't,
just
know,
a-
I don't know fuck about that show.
She's that little bunny is just one of so many pets she keeps. So, like, her house might as well be a zoo. But anyways,
That's a zoo house. I'm guessing the bunny is just a little prick. Like,
yeah, the biggest freak ever.
he's like, you couldn't talk to that guy. I don't know.
It's just an asshole. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so Chris Pine is proposing another versus, and let me tell you, these are the kind of verses that get laughed at in spacebattles.com. Oh, .net, sorry.
That's
I
a
don't
site
remember.
I have. I watched Death Battle, and I've also watched Animation Rewind. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the Space Battles one yet.
Space Battles doesn't do videos. They're basically a big forum where people discuss and everything. Yeah.
I bet people like Seth the Programmer and Nemesis Bloodreich probably been there.
I'm pretty sure. Like, there are recurring gags in Space Battles and Sufficient Velocity, another like spin-off of Space Battles, kinda. And for example, which character can survive in the city? You know, the city from Blam.
Oh. Yeah, I've seen videos like that where it's like, could this character survive the Saiyans? Or could this character survive this thing?
Yeah. And of course, we get I've seen some of the silliest crap there. For example, there was this person that was like, what if the Mongol Empire tried to invade My Little Pony? And everyone's like, dude, why do you hate the Mongols so much? Do you want it to get destroyed? Because that's what's going to happen.
It reminds me of Death Battle. They actually had an episode where they intentionally made a stomp for a character on purpose out of spite. where they had
Really?
that's the whole joke though. It was like an inside joke because because you remember in some of the episodes when they introduced Deadpool sort of started breaking the fourth wall, and
Yeah.
basically Deathpool started annoying Wiz and Boomstick directly, and
Mm-hmm.
so they had an episode where they were sick of his shit, so just to punish him, they put him up against the Mask.
Oh my goodness, that's spite. That is full on spite. I mean, comic version or movie version? That's important.
I think it's movie version.
All right, they could have been way more spiteful if they went with the comic version because the comic version is just deranged.
I mean the fact that like you can't even fight the Mask. The Mask has Toon Force.
Yeah, I know, but the difference is that in the comics, the Mask not only operates under Toon Force, it's a full-on psychopath.
They're both versions are both movie. Like it's movie for both of them. But like
Gotcha.
apparently in the lore of the movie though, I think they kind of took stuff from the comics. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that video. They said that the Mask is basically indestructible and the only way to actually beat him is to convince him to take off his own mask.
Basically, yeah, it's really hard. Like the reason the Mask is so broken is that he's basically a modern Rumpelstiltskin or something like that.
You wanna know what's hilarious though? After the battle ended, Wiz and Boomstick suddenly felt bad for him all of a sudden, despite the fact they were trying to be mean to him like 5 minutes ago. There was like, because Wiz was like, "Did we take this too far?"
Could have been worse. Imagine Deadpool versus Popeye. No, that's cruel.
I remember Popeye versus Saitama. That was funny.
Yeah.
I do be eating my spinach.
You're fighting against the Toon character that managed to punch out his own odor.
Thing is, like,
Imagine that shit.
Saitama has a lot of strength for anime, like standard anime strength. Although to be fair, there's actually already many. Even compared to what we don't know, although I actually have seen some feats from the third season of the manga, he was able to punch in. He did a punch in space. It was in outer space. The shot literally had like a background full of stars. After the punch, it showed the same shot, but now it was black.
Damn.
like, damn.
Imagine
Saitama just
being
blew
one
up all those suns, all the way over there.
Exactly. Imagine you're just minding your own business. I don't know, drinking some babilar galapak, and one of these days, suddenly there's like this huge ass shockwave coming towards you. Like, what the hell? No, wait a second. if the stars suddenly went out, that moment, we're talking that the shockwave was so fast that it actually broke the speed of light. Like those people didn't even notice. They were like suddenly in their local lapa drinking some la chapocha, and suddenly they're no more.
Basically,
They just disappeared.
we never got the third season of the dub yet, but like Saitama actually meets someone who's able to fight him legitimately in season 3. Because in season 1 and 2, no, everyone was weaker than him.
Like
in
it's that
season,
alien guy, right?
Boros was able to sort of fight him, but that fight was still extremely one-sided.
Chris Pite says Hawk Twas Girl vs Minecraft Steve vs Vegeta vs Mr.
Oh
Game
my
and
goodness, I'm
Watch.
seeing. Okay, this one is less spiteful than the other one.
I see. I told you Chris was making up bullshit. Anyway,
No, but this one is less spiteful though, so we can actually discuss this one. So we have Hawk Girl, Minecraft Steve, Vegeta. Sorry. Oh my goodness, that actually hurt.
are you okay? What happened there?
It's a burp. It was a burp. A rather strong burp.
Did you like drink a soda or something?
Oh, if I will tell you what I had today for lunch, my goodness, yeah. But that will
Dinner's
for
gonna be
another
good
day.
today. We're having some spaghetti and garlic bread.
Oh, that's nice,
Yeah.
actually. So we have Hawk Girl versus Minecraft Steve versus Vegeta versus Mr. Game and Watch. The thing is, we don't really have any feats for Mr. Game and Watch, do we?
I suppose you could like, if you talk about the Game and Watch games that he was in before Smash,
Exactly.
like, yeah, he has some occupations. He helped people escape a burning building. That's technically a feat. He's able
Yeah,
to cook, which is something. Like, he's kind of ordinary though, although
Yeah,
and like a lot of the moves he has in Smash Bros aren't even things that he himself does. It's something that's just from the games.
I
Like,
suppose Mr. Game and Watch is an embodiment of every Game and Watch character ever. So we could say
technically
he's
the
like a
Smash version
combination.
is like the ultimatum, like the ultimate version of everything he's done.
Right.
Even then, Smash Bros characters are like impossible to power scale. In fact, fighting game characters in general are really hard to scale unless they have a story mode.
Street
'Cause-
Fighter, for example. You
Yeah,
can
Street
scale
Fighter.
them. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Tekken have actual storylines, so you know how strong they are.
Even
Smash
Blaze
Bros
Blue.
doesn't even bother with that. Like, even Subspace doesn't tell you shit about their power.
Yeah, basically a bunch of trophies fighting. Or figurines, you know, a
Yeah.
child fighting with his
So, like,
with his action figures, something
This
like
is
that.
something that me and Tony has also agreed with. Pretty much, you can never really power scale Smash Bros with anything. It just doesn't
Yeah.
work.
It
You
doesn't
just
work.
can't.
For example, I mean, Olimar, he's already scaled up compared to his main series, you know, for him to work. Meanwhile, Ridley is scaled down. Samus
Yeah.
herself is super scaled down because if we use her canon feats, she'd probably body most of the cast except maybe like
There actually
maybe
are-
Rosalina and shit like that.
There actually are videos out there where they say who would actually be the strongest character in Smash Bros. Like canonically.
Yeah.
One of the strongest characters there is Kirby.
Oh yeah, that little guy destroys some of the most eldritch shit ever.
Like, basically, you could have, like, these demonic gods that have, like, the power of infinity or the power of the universe, and Kirby's like, nah, I can still kill them.
Yeah,
It's just-
that little pink puffball is a menace.
Yeah, in fact, there's actually a whole storyline where the Star Warriors that Kirby's race used to be a part of was actually, like, feared for how powerful they were. And, like,
I believe
yeah,
it.
yeah, there's, like, a whole, like, ancient story. Apparently, Kirby lore is really deep if you look into it. Apparently, Kirby is actually seen as something that shouldn't exist. And it's like... a lot of characters just kind of wish they can get rid of him, but they just can't because the motherfucker's, like, indestructible. like, everyone who's tried to kill him just can't. So he's just like this being that no one wants to keep around, but he's just there anyway.
So he's basically like Majin Buu or Venom, except he has like no idea how strong he is, and he's the friendliest thing ever.
He is basically a fat boo.
Yeah. A friendlier somehow Fat Buu.
Well, I mean, Fat Boo would... After Mr. Satan's friendship. Let's say that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because
that's
he wasn't
comparable.
he wasn't very nice before then. But after he befriended Satan, and then Satan was like, you can't kill people anymore.
Okay.
he's like
Oh,
it's a
man.
promise to a friend, so I won't kill anyone.
That's exactly what happened with Discord and Fluttershy. So
Basically.
we have a precedent.
So like he was just like he's like, I'm gonna go out to cause mayhem, and then she's like, wait, I'm gonna talk no jutsu you.
The best part is that he has the ability to actually scold Discord, and Discord's going to take that to heart. She's the only one that can do it. That's so funny.
He's like, this lesser being, he's able to lecture me.
Yeah. It's so freaking funny. Anyway, so yeah, I mean...
I'll take this lip from this little girl.
So basically, Mr. Game & Watch is unscalable as far as we know. And Hawk Girl, at least she has feats. Minecraft Steve also has feats, they're just not very impressive.
Actually-
Outside of being able to freaking have like tons and tons upon tons of materials. That's
There's
probably his best feat.
Some people don't take this seriously because there's something like an outlier feat. Because MatPat has a theory that Steve has universal strength.
Hmm.
And it's because he says because he's able to carry that much gold or blocks,
Yeah,
whatever. Like
exactly.
the ability to carry like millions of blocks in his chests. It's just like
Yeah.
he's like he must have universal strength.
Either that or he's basically operating under a little bit of Toon Force, a hyperspace arsenal like Bugs Bunny.
Then again, I feel
Hammer
like it's
space.
just it's literally just like hammer space, like Link. Oh, you know what's funny though? You know how people always like make fun of the fact where it's uh, like how does this pockets fill the shit? Like they usually don't explain it. Well, I watched this video recently in the cartoon. Yeah, the cartoon. They
Yeah.
actually they did something. They had like a nod to this because you'll notice that whenever he's about to put something in his pocket, it like magically shrinks into it. It's like a suction door.
Yeah.
So it's like he's just like this like dimensional portal almost. It just like gets sucked in through the pocket.
Exactly. Okay,
So,
that's
like-
probably the.
So I feel like the show it basically makes it like canon that his pocket
Whoa.
is literally a pocket dimension.
Yeah, probably the best way to go about it. So basically, with Steve, okay, I made the calculations right here. So normally in Minecraft, you have up to, let me see, we have 3 by 9 plus 9 by 64. Just filling his entire inventory with golden ingots, you can have two what? 2,304 golden ingots. But hey, we can do better because we can actually turn those golden ingots into blocks. And you can carry 2,304 blocks of gold. Now, can we assume those golden blocks are like fully solid? Because in that case, we could calculate how much weight he's carrying. So let's
This
see.
is just like his video.
That's. I mean, we're making a lot of assumptions because for all we know is it could be. Like
I'm not
a
trying to
wooden
make
block.
like a whole informational video like, oh, I'm going to explain the whole matchup of this character with science. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
like,
I could do that for days. I could do that for hours. Honestly,
I know, but this stream's already been going on for a while,
that's fair.
and I feel like we want to go over multiple matchups instead of taking forever on this one.
Right, and besides, even if Steve can carry that much weight, it's
Also, you're
never
putting so much more
reflected.
effort into this one, despite the fact that Chris is just memeing on me.
I
lot of
know,
these
but
matchups he's coming-
I still like to take that seriously because that's what I do. I- because well, yeah, even if Steve can carry that much, it's never reflected on how strong he can hit something. I mean, yeah, he can break stone with a sufficiently good tool in relatively short time, but still, you never see like one punch destroying a mountain or something like that. So
Actually, if you just if we take the whole carrying inventory and just go under the assumption it's pocket space,
right,
then Steve is actually pretty ordinary.
basically Batman, except with the pockets with hammer space. Basically like
I don't
that.
know how strong Hawk Girl is.
She's fairly strong. She's not human. She's from another planet. It's some bullshit about the ant metal and crap like that. I'm not very familiar with DC characters in general, or Marvel characters for that matter. I only know that she's really strong.
Oh,
Not quite Wonder Woman level strong, but still
okay.
pretty
Look,
strong.
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is not
Vegeta
even really a
wins.
debate. Yeah, like,
Vegeta wins.
why is Vegeta here? I keep telling you, Chris does not think these through. He just comes up with random bullshit. This isn't even a thought out matchup. Vegeta slaps. He claps everyone else. They could all tag team him, and it wouldn't make
Chris
a difference.
Says we
Probably
Hawks
the only
girls
way
from
they
another
can
planet.
win is if like Hawk Girl teamed up with Steve and Steve somehow created this amazingly enchanted weapon with some of the most broken enchantments ever, with the best armor ever, and maybe we have an even fight. Unless it's Vegeta after he goes Saiyan Blue. Then it's game over.
Okay, so Saiyan Saga Vegeta, you gotta remember this. Even Saiyan Saga Vegeta is like a casual planet buster already.
That's true.
More of a small planet buster, but still, because Frieza could just do any fucking planet with a finger, but Vegeta actually has to, like, shoot a full power
Chris Pike
beam to do it.
Says I thought Hawk girl was human.
Oh my goodness! Did I really confuse this person? Okay. Is Hot Twat girl? Okay, then yeah, she has no fucking chance. He has no chance. He's
I'm
just
gonna tell you right now,
some
even
normal ass person. That's just a normal ass person.
now, Matt Pat Theory version of Steve.
Haley Welch.
Matt
She's
Pat.
basically talking about Haley Welch. In that case, yeah, Vegeta wins. What were you thinking, Chris Fight? What were you thinking?
He wasn't thinking. This is the same guy who keeps annoying me with floor theory because he doesn't know how to shut up.
Wait, what theory?
Floor theory. He made it up randomly the other week, like a couple weeks ago. He just came up with it randomly, and for some reason he thinks it's the coolest thing on the planet, and he never shuts up about it.
Your theory?
Yes, for some reason, he has this idea in his head that he thinks it would be cool if in Dragon Ball, someone melted the Dragon Balls to make a floor out of it, and then you can use it as both a wish and a trapdoor at the same time.
And you even melt the Dragon Balls to begin with?
I don't know.
I mean, one of them was inside a volcano. That's already better strength than the freaking One Ring from the Lord of the Rings.
It's shown in GT that the Dragon Balls do have limits, but in Dragon Ball Original, the humans, like the Red Ribbon guys, for example, they claim the Dragon Balls are indestructible. And that's probably because no one in Dragon Ball has power that could crack the Dragon Balls. But,
Could Beerus destroy the Dragon Balls?
he could. He's a god of destruction after all. You gotta remember, Hakai energy is broken.
Right.
Because, you know, there's regular ki, there's Genki, which is spirit energy. There's,
Genki Dama.
yeah, that's why it's called Genki Dama, because it's a spirit blast. Not spirit bomb like it is over here. It's actually spirit blast when translated directly.
Right. Right. I mean, in Spanish, it's still Genki Dama, so we don't even get the translation.
So, there's Ki, Genki, then there's Hakai, which is god of destruction energy, basically. I like to call it antimatter because it fucking acts like it. It just destroys anything it touches.
Yeah, but antimatter will be something more like it's mutual destruction, like proton and antiproton touch, sorry, and they both destroy each other.
And those are usually the three keys we have. But if you want to get technical, I don't know if Daima's going to introduce it or not, but in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games, there is a fourth one.
Right.
And that's I forget what they call it, but it's basically demon key. Because if you remember, in some of the games they introduced the demon realm, where there's demon characters, and there's also the Makaioshin, or the demonic versions of the Supreme Kai. And in that universe, the higher beings, specifically characters like the Makaioshin, they have their own demonic key. So it's their own type of key. So yeah, there's regular key, demonic key, god key, and spirit energy key. And honestly, now, unless you're a god or a demon, then you're only going to have ki and genki. Those are the only ones that are universal. Because ki is like, you know, the energy of the universe that you're like pouring into yourself and using to attack. But like, Genki, I mean, technically it's like an internal, it's like spiritual energy. It's weird. So Genki is a little bit different from regular ki, because Genki is your life force. Genki is like literally your life force used as power. You can also draw in the life force from other people. Like Goku
does.
Yeah, but there has actually been Genki attacks in the series that are not gathered that way. Some of them are just, for example, you probably didn't even think about this, but the Tri-Beam is actually a Genki attack.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same color, right?
No, that's not what matters. Color can be whatever the hell it wants in Dragon Ball. There's no rules.
Okay. Alright.
In fact, if you actually, Akira Toriyama actually said back then that the key is actually supposed to be invisible.
For our convenience, it is rendered visible during this show, right? Or the manga.
The manga also draws it in some shots because, like I said, as he explained, it's supposed to be invisible because it's a spiritual attack. But they said it wouldn't be appealing if it was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they do get away with this, though, because the Ki is an attack that actually is invisible, even in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only the Ki. That's like a specific thing that they keep invisible for some reason.
Right.
Um, but, yeah, Genki, yeah, no, the Tri-Beam actually uses life force energy. That's the reason why, whenever Tien uses it, he risks his own life every single time he shoots it.
All
Because,
right, because he's basically drawing from his own reserves, so to
yeah,
speak.
so it's Goku, it's safe for him because he pulls it from other people. He doesn't pull it from his own power. It's all external life energy. So it's
Right.
safe to use. But Tien is using his own life force to shoot the tri-beam.
Right.
Hell,
So.
this is actually evidence because in Japan the move is called Spirit Cannon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. The main source is of course the original Japanese version because it's original in Japanese. With everything else is a dub.
Yeah, dub ruined a ton of fucking lore. When I watched the show for the first time subbed, I'm like, holy shit, Funimation fucked up everything. Because there is a lot, and I do mean a lot of hidden details that the dub just truncates, and you
Right.
have to
Yeah.
watch the sub to be like, wait, that was a thing? Oh wait, that was a thing too? Oh wait, that thing was explained? Yeah, it happens all the time. Like for one, Roshi actually explains what the Kami Senin martial arts style is derived from. He actually says that in the sub. The dub
Yeah.
leaves that out, so you never know what Kami Senin is based on.
I think
Um,
in the Spanish dub they also explain it. I don't
yeah,
remember though.
it's in the original Dragon Ball. He says it during one of the world
Ah, so
tournaments.
that's why. So
During one
yeah,
of the
he
world
probably explains it.
tournaments, Roshi says that Kami Senin is technically derived from Kenpo,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like evolved from it.
Right. It's a derivative.
Yeah, I think it's a
Speaking
really
of
cool attention to detail.
speaking of versus debates, there was this time some months ago, if not a year ago, where me and my friends, oh my goodness, another bird, god damn it, or so, me and
I
my
have
friends,
something. Okay, I'll let you
uh,
say.
sorry, me and my friends, we were discussing, we made just a for fun debate. We basically took a bunch of serial mascots and we were like, let's make a freaking Budokai tournament out of this shit. You won't believe the freaking finals.
The dyslexia fucking announcer.
The
Did you know
freaking
he has?
finals.
Did you actually know he has dyslexia? It's actually canon.
Who has dyslexia?
The world tournament announcer.
I didn't know that.
Not the one from GT though, or not GT. What was the one? Because they had a new one in one
Hmm.
of them. I think it was GT. Yeah. You know that like the 100-year skip where you have Goku, Vegeta Junior, Vegeta Junior. That's a different tournament announcer, obviously. But
Hmm.
other than that, the regular one that you normally know, the one with the sunglasses, the one with the blonde hair, that
Right.
guy.
Yeah, I know that
Y
one. Yeah.
yeah,
He's supposed to be
he has
dyslexic.
dyslexia. Yes, he's dyslexic. It's a joke that isn't very obvious in the dub because you kind of have to understand katakana or whatever to get it. But like
Hmm.
if you actually understand katakana, the way he pronounces Goku's name actually proves he's dyslexic.
Hmm. Oh,
Because
interesting.
in the Japanese version, yeah, so because he says Gaukoa and like Gokua, I forget what he says. He basically says it like two ways wrong. And then
Okay.
Yamcha walks in and he's like, sir, that says Goku." And he just looks at him all embarrassed like, "Oh, I see." And that basically
Oopsie.
proves that he's dyslexic because he
Right.
says Goku's name wrong when he tries to read it.
Yeah, that's the only way you'll get our name wrong, unless you only had the kanji, in which case it's pretty easy to get many names wrong.
Yeah, he's like Gaukoa. I'm just like, what? No, it's like Gokawa. It's like Gokawa. I'm like, what?
So, so let me see if I can remember because yeah, when we're doing when we did this little like serial mascot tournament to the death, we actually were using feats from the freaking ads. For example, there's this
It
Mexican
reminds me of how
version.
powerful Kool-Aid Man is. Like, he was stronger than I thought he was.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid
Oh
Man
my
versus
god.
Randy Savage.
Oh no. Please no.
No, you
So
weren't supposed to
basically,
say "oh no." You're supposed to say "oh yeah."
oh yeah.
You fool.
So basically, yeah. There's this Mexican. Well, I don't know if it's exclusive
Good
to
job,
Mexico. I
Yamato.
think it may apply
No,
to the rest
that
of
wasn't
Why
Latin
did
me.
that just
American as
start?
well. And
Naruto stopped it all
basically,
by
there's a
himself.
mascot for the this Kellogg cereal. Imagine Rice Krispies, but chocolate Rice Krispies. There's a mascot for
Uh,
this specific cereal that's like an elephant, a big brown elephant with
I think we
hands.
have the flavor, but I don't remember that mascot.
Yeah, that mascot is not in the U.S. as far as I know. But it's here in Mexico, right? And he was very popular. And the thing is, there are some ads where that guy is like a secret agent and he has a submarine and stuff. It's like he managed to beat so many mascots just because he's basically the Batman of mascot cereal.
I
Except
remember
when he
fucking
went
Captain
against the
Crunch did some
Ghost.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. Captain Crunch couldn't survive like the second round. He was defeated rather quickly. But this Melvin, that's his name. His name is Melvin. He basically was defeated by the ghost of the monster cereal thingy. That was the one thing he couldn't defeat.
The ghost of the what?
Yeah, you know,
Monster
like
cereal.
the Count Chocolate, the other monster cereals. One of them is a ghost. He
Wait,
did
aren't
defeat the
those?
mummy.
Aren't they just side characters of another brand? Because like I know sometimes they'll have
No,
like a Halloween edition of cereal.
no, it's the same line. It's a whole monster cereal line. Next time you're on Walmart somewhere like that, because well, Halloween's coming, so you may see those cereals. Look for the ghost character.
Um, I think one of the stronger ones is actually like the Lucky Charms leprechaun.
So you won't be surprised when the finals had that Lucky Charms Leprechaun versus Tony the Tiger. That was the finals.
I bet the Tricks rabbit didn't make it very far.
Nah, he didn't. Rabbit was eliminated along the Cookie Crisp wolf.
The wolf. The Cookie Crisp wolf beat the rabbit.
He was defeated by someone else. I don't even remember because
Oh.
there was so many cereals, including Mexican cereals, and we're talking like some of the Mexican mascots were
Tony-
like a pair of children. A pair of
Tony
children
made
beat
it
the
that
Trix
far?
character.
I didn't think Tony was that strong.
He just had the best bracket ever. That's why he managed to get to the finals.
Oh, this is the problem with not having round robin.
Exactly.
Fucking luck of the draw, bro.
Yeah. He got so lucky. Like Melvin had some of the worst matches ever, and he still managed to win everything until he arrived to the Ghost. The Ghost defeated him, but then Tony the Tiger defeated the. No, wait, that was the Lucky Charms Leprechaun who defeated the Ghost. I don't even remember. It's weird.
The fucking finals is like Tony the Tiger versus the Lucky Charms guy.
So basically, what we ended up doing for the finals, we just asked ChatGPT to imagine the fights. And we
Oh my
even got
God.
some images out of it. It was some of the weirdest shit I've ever read.
ChatGPT is pretty like weak though, I'll be honest. There's actually more sophisticated tools nowadays. It's just that they're not like the general like easy to find open source stuff. You kind of have to dig for the better AI tools now because they're usually buried somewhere.
Yeah, but we just did it for fun, so it didn't really matter.
No, I meant like for the image generation. You could have gotten better images if you use a different image AI.
Maybe.
Because ChatGPT's AI image editor is kind of shit. I'll be
Let me
honest.
see if I can dig up those pictures because I'm pretty sure we saved them. Let me look for them real quick. I'll send them to you to the what's it called, the Discord server, so you can share them with the world. Let's see. Let's see if I can find them. Was it in
Serial Wise
fan
Serial.
art?
I like fucking. I always think it's funny to just put everything in a Budokai tournament. Just Budokai tournament. Yeah. Other characters from other animes, just put it in there. Just put like fucking Yusuke in there.
Right.
Spirit gun.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the reason these debates can be fun. as long as we get a good matchup, because again,
This is I want to go back to saying this because this is something I explained earlier, but I'm pretty sure you were AFK at the time I was talking about it. This is a funny thing I told my cousin because it's true, and this is what makes power scaling with these three series kind of weird. Dragon Ball scales incredibly fast. Naruto
Yeah.
scales moderately fast. One Piece scales incredibly slowly.
yeah,
Because Dragon Ball is just obsessed with making each new arc just have this like new power level. Like it like never seems to stagnate for long. It's just always rising.
yeah, and they have
Naruto
to
is
outdo
a-
themselves.
Yeah, Naruto's different though, because like it's weird. The way it works is that because there's so much world building and there's a lot of filler, the powers tend to stagnate a lot at points. And then usually the power won't go up until like a major story point happens, and that's when it starts going up again. So like they like to have a lot of like filler where the power stagnates. So Naruto actually scales a lot slower because it likes to kind of just stay with what it has. And one thing I actually find weird is that Naruto has a sort of acceleration to it. Because I think Dragon Ball has a generally consistent curve of strength increase. Naruto is just like because early Naruto the scaling is really slow early on, but as it gets further like into Shippuden, the scaling starts to ramp up a lot faster than it did before. Um, so it's actually it kind of like I said, it's like an acceleration curve. The power scaling gets more intense the further you get in. It's weird how it works like that. Like, there's outlier feats, obviously, because whenever Naruto has Kurama get, like, or when he uses the Ninetales power, he has, like, these anti-feats early on. But it's basically just, it's not really meant to be taken, like, oh, this is how strong Naruto is, because it's not. It's just how strong the Ninetales is. It doesn't really count, in my opinion.
Right.
It's kind of just a way to hype up the Ninetales for later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just
the QB.
outliers. The Keelys of energy. Why did they never bring that back? It's so weird that they introduced it in the first place.
Damn. So
It's like, oh,
guess
Bobby,
what?
you just introduced this thing you never had before. And then One Piece is actually, you'd be surprised, that show's been going on for 1,000 episodes, and guess what? Characters are still barely even island level.
Yeah,
Like,
because
yeah,
they don't
no,
scale
seriously,
so hard.
it's 1,000 episodes in, and like, characters aren't blowing up islands yet. You've gone
because-
1,000 episodes in an anime where characters aren't nuking the planet. That's admirable.
Yeah, to be fair, depends on the anime. Like Violet Evergarden, I mean, Violet herself is rather strong for a girl, but holy damn, for a young girl, 14-year-old girl, which is superhuman still.
Think about it, at the
You
end
know-
of Z. So the end of
You
Z,
know
Naruto.
what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen that anime.
It's more of a light novel, really. It's pretty good. I love it, but to each his own.
In the end of Z, like when Vegito is fighting Super Buu, or Buhan in this case, his power was so great he started to tear holes in the fabric of space-time.
Oh man,
That actually happens, remember?
I don't.
Yeah, Buhan actually got so angry at Vegito that he started ripping pockets of the space-time apart.
Why
And Vegito just punches through him.
are Dragon Ball characters so ridiculous?
So, like, in Z, the power scaling has already gotten to universal. Then we go down to Naruto Shippuden. At the end of Shippuden, I know the war arc is, like, a huge outlier. Like, this is the reason why I say it accelerates, because at Shippuden, the power just kind of goes up out of nowhere. And by the second half of Shippuden, the scaling is ridiculous. Don't even ask me why, but Naruto just gets, like, a bajillion buffs and a bajillion power-ups, like, during the war arc. Just makes him a completely different character than he was before the war arc.
Oh my goodness.
And even at the end of Shippuden, even when they fought the final boss, Naruto is still only barely moon level.
Yeah, Naruto characters
Just
are crazy.
barely
Just not
moon
that
level.
crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, they're not universal, they're not tearing the fabric of space-time.
We're talking. I'm pretty sure Usagi from Sailor Moon. She probably stands a good chance of beating like most of Naruto's cast. Maybe.
One actually, Sailor Moon characters are really strong.
They're, they're rather really
I
strong.
haven't seen the anime, but I've seen some power scaling videos. So you know Galaxia from that show?
I'm aware of that. Like, there was this debate in Space Battles where they put her against the God Emperor of Mankind from Warhammer 40K.
That's not what I
She
was talking
won.
about, but
Yeah, she
no,
won.
there was a death battle. So there was a death battle where it was Galaxia versus Beerus.
Galaxia
Yep.
won, right?
Wait, yo, guys.
No.
Yeah, it was Galaxia versus Beerus.
Is that you, Shoto?
Also, hello.
Hello. What's up? How's it
Um,
going?
No, that's me, babe.
Actually, no.
Yeah,
Beerus,
I'm pretty sure Sailor Moon characters are absurd.
Yes, Beerus
They are.
actually wins.
Yeah, Beerus won, though.
Beerus
Ah,
won,
gotcha.
but
Yeah, but I know
Galaxia,
Sailor Moon characters, from what I've heard, are, like, absurd.
Galaxia did really annoy Beerus, though, because Beerus was trying to, like, nonchalantly fight her, you know how he usually does. But since
Yeah.
she just kind of just wasn't dying, Beerus got really pissed off, and then ended up having to kill her with a Hakai.
You know what? That's actually pretty good because how many characters can actually stand up to Beerus and make him use his whole
Beerus is
freaking
one of the
strength?
stronger characters in Death Battle, I'll be honest. But, like,
How many
it
characters
shows...
can... How many
it
characters
shows-
can withstand any character from DBS? Really?
No, seriously,
DBS
no, like,
is absurd.
I'm just
It
saying,
is.
like, it comes to show how powerful Sailor Moon characters are when Galaxia is so powerful that Beerus had to resort to a Hakai because his normal
Exactly.
attacks weren't killing her, so he basically had to use Hakai, and, well, as you know, Hakai is kinda hacks, so...
Isn't it just, like, erased from the universe?
yeah,
Reality, or
it's
whatever?
literally just erasure ability. You just erase things. Like,
How do you even
Oh.
power seal that? I thought it would get close to, like, the no limit fallacy.
yeah,
Probably-
basically, Beerus had to rely on hacks to win that fight.
And I'm pretty sure Popeye could survive that. I'm pretty sure Popeye
Yes,
could survive.
Popeye. In fact, from what I've seen over the years, Popeye is easily one of the strongest characters in all of fiction.
Well, I would assume that anyone that can just pop back in out of nothing can survive a Hakai.
Yeah,
If
but
you can just-
Popeye
Popeye-
survived being erased once.
Yes. Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
episode where the writer of the show himself tried to erase him with his pencil, and Popeye literally just ate spinach from nothingness, revived himself, and then popped out of the fucking picture to beat up the writer in real life.
Wait, hold up. I think Flash beats Popeye. He can just, like, take all the cabbage or spinach or whatever.
Like
Flash can't eat any spinach.
literally,
Flash
the
beats
fuck,
Popeye.
literally,
The
the writer himself can't kill Popeye.
Bro,
You just need to get rid of the spinach, I guess.
Yeah, the only way you can defeat Popeye is to destroy and erase the concept of spinach. That's
Right,
probably the
you
only
would
way
have
to
to.
defeat
Yeah,
him.
actually, that's how you would win. You wouldn't erase Popeye. You would erase spinach.
Anyways,
That's how-
before we continue, I send you over to Discord the picture of Tony the Tiger against the Lucky Charms guy, and the fight.
Didn't Tony the Tiger win?
because-
What's the feats of the Lucky Charms guy?
Yeah, apparently Zol and his friends did a for fun tournament against cereal mascots.
Right? Yeah, it was so dumb.
What even the feats are of the Lucky Charms guy? I think, can he fly? I'm pretty sure he can fly, right? Or I think it's someone else.
I mean, the Lucky Charms guy has magic on his side, and Tony the Tiger is just a really, really buff tiger.
Wait, where did you put it in general?
In general, I got the picture and I got the text. If you want to read that to the audience.
Turns
That-
Tony's stripes into rainbows.
Why
Advantage
is Lucky
Lucky.
Charm? Wait, why does the Lucky Charms guy have that face?
Because ChatGPT can't do Lucky Charms. We tried.
Lucky Charms. Oh, yeah, he looks nothing like
Oh
him.
no. Okay, nah. No,
Let
that's
me watch
silly.
a promotional video of the Lucky Charms guy. Let me see some.
Let me
Should
see
be-
if I can read it for you.
I remember. I said this to Zolda. I remember seeing a battle before where someone tried to put the Kool-Aid Man against Randy Savage.
Wait, let me see if I knew. Let me Google it to see if I know who you're talking about. Oh, the wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why they put them together is because they're
Doesn't
both.
Randy
it's
Savage
be-
just punch him in the glass? Wait,
might
actually, no, wait,
think
no.
so.
Durability feats. Kool-Aid
Yeah.
is wall level.
No,
Yeah.
Kool-Aid Man.
Kool-Aid Man.
You need to
Imagine
see
having
some of his
glass so
commercials.
hard, you can actually punch through walls.
Yeah,
Here's
Kool-Aid
the
Man
thing,
can run
though.
through walls.
No,
Randy
no.
Savage is screwed.
There's actually more feats that are even crazier than his wall feats in some of his commercials. Like, he actually goes beyond wall level sometimes. Now, the reason why this fight was created is because both of them are well known for saying, "Oh yeah!"
Randy Savage just gets dumpstered.
Yeah, no, Randy Savage just gets, well, savagely beat
Yeah.
by Kool-Aid Man.
Like, literally, can just run him over.
Yeah.
It'd be
Oh,
funny
that's
if it'd be
crazy.
funny in the fight where like Kool-Aid Man just fucking comes in through the wall saying "Oh yeah," and then Randy Savage is like "Oh no," and then gets fucking killed.
My goodness. You're about to be destroyed by the Kool-Aid Man. Imagine that in your epitaph. Killed by the Kool-Aid guy.
Death
By
by
the way,
Kool-Aid.
upon a 15-second look of Lucky Charms feats, Lucky Charms has telekinesis. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Tony Tiger's winning this one.
Yeah, that's what we concluded. We concluded that on feats alone, the Lucky Charms Leprechaun can probably defeat most of the mascots.
He told me
know-
that Tony shouldn't have even made it to the finals in the first place. Apparently, he just had the luck of the draw.
Yeah, he got the best.
Who did he
brackets
go
ever.
against?
He went basically against every single other mascot we could think of. Like, imagine the monster cereal people, the freaking the rooster from Kellogg's, the elephant
Isn't
from.
the rooster for Kellogg's just like a normal rooster?
He's just a normal rooster, but we had to.
But
include him.
he was asking you specifically, who did Tony get matched up with?
Oh, let's see. I think he
Like-
got matched against a couple of kids from a local cereal hill in Mexico. Of course, he defeated them because I mean it's a tiger against two kids.
He go against the Trix Rabbit?
I think he went against the Trix Rabbit, or no, actually the Trix Rabbit was defeated by, I think the Melvin the elephant from another Mexican version of a Kellogg cereal. You
Wait,
know,
the Trix
the-
Rabbit has his own cartoon, I think. Wait a second.
Yeah, well, he never gets
Where are the
his
Trix
fix.
Rabbit's feet besides being a
Trix-
rabbit?
Trix is
Whatever
just
feats
like
those are.
the only thing about Trix is that like he's kind of fast on his feet, so I guess he has
Yeah,
some
he's-
agile movement.
I think
But
he
like,
just jumps a bunch.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
fast and nimble, but that's all he has going for him. He doesn't got nothing else going for him.
He's basically Wile E.
I don't think he
Coyote.
has any like.
Also, you know what's a funny what if that Chris said? I actually explained why this wouldn't be a close fight. It was Bubbles, you know, from King Kai's Bubbles. Against Wheeler, who's a monkey from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Yeah, I know it's a random matchup. But I told him that Bubbles would basically beat, like, any other normal monkey, because you gotta remember, Bubbles is able to move normally in 10 times gravity, so if you put him on Earth, he'd probably be moving as fast as a fucking race car. Think
only
about
that,
it. Put
the
Bubbles on
strength
Earth,
of
he'd
Bubbles
be...
punches.
I think my internet cut out.
Bubbles would be having a fucking drag
See my-
race with a fucking Camaro.
I mean, not only that, imagine the strength of his arms. How strong are his punches after dealing with 10 times gravity?
Yeah, dude, Bubbles could probably punch detect. But if Bubbles actually fought you, like if he left King Kai's place and went to Earth, he could probably punch your head off.
Yeah, he probably could punch my heart out.
You don't fuck with Bubbles.
Dang. Well, monkeys can already do that.
Yeah. Yeah, some monkeys can be rather nasty. Depends on the monkey, of course.
It's funny though, because Bubbles is a very small
Okay,
monkey,
so,
but can
I'm
do
looking at
shit
Trix
that
Rabbit. I'm
even
trying to figure out if he
giant
has like
apes
stretchy
can't.
powers.
No, Bubbles actually has no special ability. It's just that he has the 10 times gravity that he's used to.
No, I'm looking at Trix.
Oh,
The-
the only
the
thing I
Rabbit.
can say about Bubbles is that now this is something that could just be cartoon logic and not something that's a real feat, but it almost feels like he's able to just spawn bananas from nothingness. But I feel like that was
could
probably
be
just
helpful.
done. I feel like that was probably just a gag, though. I don't think it was meant to be a real thing he does.
Yeah, but it could be useful too. Like there was this D&D campaign where someone got a curse, like a curse that you have 1 in 4 chance of whenever you're trying to reach for something, you instead get out a chicken. So the party basically had infinite food.
Now, of course, in the games it's different because he has an infinite supply of bananas. Because if you didn't know, the Budokai games have a mini game where you have to catch bubbles, and he tries to throw bananas at you, which make you fall.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, of
you can
course.
make Goku trip on the fucking bananas when you're trying to catch him. It makes catching him kind of annoying.
Why don't you fly though?
Then there's Gregory, which he also brought up Gregory versus a character, and I'm just like, bro, Gregory is way stronger than you think he is. Because you gotta remember, a version of Goku who just fought Raditz, sure, he lost to Raditz technically, but he's fought Raditz.
Yeah.
He got flinged in the air and fell on his ass from a finger. That's something Gregory did. He finger launched Goku.
No, that's
Oh
very
god, the
strong.
Namek Saga. The power scaling there is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
didn't the Z fighters get from pre-Z levels to beyond Saiyan Saga, like far beyond Saiyan Saga, in like 2 days, 4 days?
Okay, basically, so Krillin and Gohan and Yamcha, Tien, they all trained with Kami, so they can like get power levels that were almost as much as Raditz. Actually, I think Piccolo's was above Raditz actually, but the other Z fighters basically became roughly on par with Raditz when they were fighting the Saiyans.
Imagine
Um,
that.
No, I
then-
meant for the Namek Saga, not for the.
No,
Saiyan
I'm
Saga.
getting to that. So in the Namek Saga, now Krillin and Gohan initially start off pretty much the same as they were against the Saiyans. But of course, there's that one thing that happens.
Wait, isn't that episode filler? Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that's an anime only thing, but
What is?
where they fight the what are they called again? The guys Vegeta kills in the Namek Saga after Goku beats him up. Ginyu Force, the Ginyu Force episode.
What do you mean? Ginyu Force is all canon.
No, the episode where the Z fighters fight the Ginyu Force on not commies.
Oh, the King Kai's planet fight. Yeah, that is filler.
Okay,
Mm.
yeah, that's what I was
Um,
thinking of.
Also,
Because
fake
if you
Nam-
take that in that episode, it messes up the power scaling a lot.
also, fake Namek isn't canon either.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, but you know, Gohan and Krillin get that ridiculous amp from Guru. You know, they get their potential unlocked, and then now suddenly, Krillin gets a good boost, but it's not anything that's really significant to the arc. He just powered up so that Frieza's lower grunts would be even easier to kill, and that he could travel faster. Gohan, however, got such a huge amp that Vegeta thought he was Goku when he saw him.
Also, Gohan's a rage boost. He was
yeah,
on
on top
Frieza,
of that.
third form Frieza.
Yeah,
Besides-
well, he'd use it in the second form Frieza. Like, when he fought second form Frieza, when he got pissed off, he like, actually caused actual damage to him and actually, like, almost injured Frieza for a second there. Like, just fucking beat the shit out of him. But then, like, when he got into third form, Gohan got a second rage attack, and it did a little bit, but Frieza was able to hold it off.
Third form Frieza is like, what, 1 million power level or whatever?
No, second form is 1,000,000.
Third form is...
Yeah, just remember that.
Well,
Frieza is
here's
very
how to
strong
explain
on
this.
base.
So,
It's a base, he's already
120
strong.
million is 100%. So 1% would be 1% of 120 million, which would be 1.2 million. The lore makes it really fucking confusing, because for some reason the second form is supposed to be 1,000,000, and the third form is supposed to be in between that and his 1% form and final form, which is a really small gap for some reason. I don't get it. This,
I know why Toriyama threw out power levels after the Namesaga.
Yeah,
it would have
because
gone
like
ridiculous.
Frieza's powers just didn't make any sense. Like I feel like even he didn't know how to fucking scale it.
Yeah,
For
just
Frieza.
the Android Saga, no more power levels. We're just gonna ignore them.
Well, sort of. The concept still exists, but
Yeah, but
they're
no
not,
numbers.
No
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, because
Just
remember,
vague.
16 did say that he has the power to scale or to scan people's powers.
Yeah.
And people sort of give, and you know, in future Dragon Ball, they don't give numbers anymore, obviously, but they still give comparisons.
Like
Where it's
power
like,
tiering.
oh, that
It's
guy's
power
really
tiering
strong. That guy is really weak. That guy might be a good fight.
Yeah.
I bet Toriyama's thankful he threw out power levels after the Android Saga because Super would have been ridiculous. The numbers would have been so big. We'd have to
You know
break out
what's-
scientific notations.
One thing that's actually funny though is that there's actually like canonical amp numbers for transformations even past the power level age.
Yeah,
Because
the
when-
time stuff.
Yeah, like no, like after the Namek saga, you know, they dropped the power levels, but they actually didn't drop the concept of power scaling because things like transformation boosts are still documented even past that. So it's like, okay, so Metamor Infusion, you take your power level plus the power level of your friend, and then multiply that by 1.5 times, and that's what Metamor Infusion apparently amps you by.
Or how Super Saiyan is times 50. Though that
Yep.
was actually before. That was during the Namek Saga.
It's still times 50.
I thought they never gave a They never gave a number for Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3 how much it multiplies.
No, it does.
Yeah.
It does. The ones that don't are the grades of Super Saiyan. Those got ignored.
But what's the Super Saiyan 2 Super Saiyan 3 multiplier?
Super Saiyan 2 is 2 times more than Super Saiyan, and
Ouch.
Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times of Super Saiyan 2.
So
Oh.
400 times.
Oh, and Super Saiyan 4 is 10 times of that of Super Saiyan 3.
Did
Oh,
we
wow.
never get a multiplier for Super Saiyan God and above?
There's people who speculate it, but I don't think there's real numbers. Because I feel like even they didn't want to fucking touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
Like,
basically, it
oh.
went from like galaxy level. I think in End of Z, Goku's like galaxy level. Super, he's universe level.
yeah,
Immediately with Super
basically,
Saiyan God.
like, some people like to theorize that even just Super Saiyan Red, you know, like even that is like, some people think it's like 20,000 times more than Super Saiyan 4, which would be a ridiculous claim.
How much times is galaxy to universe?
Like, I don't know, man. Like, that's so unquantifiable. There's probably a reason why they didn't even bother trying to put numbers on them.
Yeah, remember
Like-
what the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy said? Space is really big.
Oh,
let
then
me
you have
find
to
the
deal with the
quote.
whole, is the DBZ universe infinite or not? If it's infinite, then Goku's just insanely, absurdly more powerful than if the universe isn't infinite.
Yeah, it depends. of
Toriyama
course.
actually did state that the universe
me-
do have a finite size, and also every single universe has a bottom layer, which is where the demon realm of each universe exists in.
Right. Let me
If
try
the universe
to...
if the universe is infinite, by the way, Goku basically solos all of fiction that isn't like absurdly absurd powerful characters that control like narratives. That's
It's
the only
just a-
people he does in fiction if the universe isn't infinite. If the universe is infinite, I mean.
Fucking dies to
Right.
Saber, because Saber just controls like fucking concepts.
Just remember
Yeah.
that sometimes writers have no sense of how absurdly big the universe actually is, because
For me,
again,
I
trying to make the quote here is, space is big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the road to the chemists, but that's just peanuts to space.
it's
You know,
fun to
from
talk about these
Hitchhikers.
super characters, but at the same time, I've actually grown an appreciation nowadays for animes that are more low-key, because just having characters that are universal is getting kind of old, I'll be honest.
That's why I
Um,
enjoy Violet Evergarden. It's a bit more grounded.
Because when you have animes that have a lower power scale, it's more believable, and also it's like it's easier for you to quantify what they're doing.
Not
Because like when
only
you start
that-
getting these ridiculous feats, like in Dragon Ball, it's like, how do you even imagine what he did?
Not only
Like-
that, but how do you even up the stakes? Like, okay, you have a character strong enough to bench press planets. All right, so the villain what is he going to do? Bench press freaking black holes or something?
Basically, in DBS, every character basically has to be able to solo Z to be relevant. That's it. They all have to solo Z.
If you can't
Exactly.
if you can't wipe out Buhan, then you shouldn't be here.
Right.
The Krillin can now solo Z with his eyes closed, pretty much. Did he like face Super
Yeah,
Saiyan
I was
Yeah.
trying to.
Goku?
Yeah, I was trying to explain this to Chris earlier. It's like people, because apparently he's one of these normies. I guess he's a casual. All casuals get this wrong. Everyone lowballs the fuck out of Krillin and Yamcha and Tien. Like,
I mean,
They're
Yamcha
way-
right now
way-
could probably
way
destroy
stronger
Frieza
than you
without
think.
trying.
Like, people, I don't know why there's so many people out there who still lowball Krillin like really hard. I'm like, dude, Krillin's so much stronger than you think. Like,
Everyone is so much stronger.
Krillin basically
in
has
Super.
to be universal. By power scaling wise. Or like low uni or close to it.
okay, there's exceptions to that because Roshi managed to be in the Tournament of Power, and there's no way he was stronger
Yeah,
than
he's not
Majin
human.
Buu. Like, actually, I'd argue that Krillin probably isn't even as strong as Majin Buu either. But like, he's probably Buu Saga levels, but I don't think he's universal. But because remember, not everyone in the Tournament of Power is universal.
Yeah, I guess you could argue Goku doesn't like go all out in his training.
Yeah, because
Doesn't-
some of the characters there were more like galaxy level than universal, and those are like the weak links, as you know. But yeah, like there's some characters in the Tournament of Power that actually probably could lose to a Buu Saga character, but like that's like the
Goofy.
low end. That's
Says
like the
Zoid,
low
what's
end
up?
of it.
I'm pretty sure Yamcha could probably now can
I
actually
don't think
defeat,
Yamcha beats the Buu
Frieza.
Saga, right? I think he beats the Cell Saga. I don't think he beats the Buu Saga.
Especially because he doesn't fight anymore.
Yeah,
he doesn't
I don't
fight
think
anymore,
Yamcha
but still.
fights Super Saiyan Red, Super Saiyan Blue, that stuff.
No,
Yamcha
in
never
fact,
has a fight scene.
Like he used to
Yamcha
get
would
thrown around,
lose-
but then probably he could probably defeat Frieza back in the Frieza
actually,
saga.
if I remember correctly, I think I think this has even been stated before, or at least sort of indirectly mentioned. Yamcha and Krillin still are scared of how strong Majin Buu can be. So like, I don't even think they could beat Majin Buu, like either of them.
No.
Like,
Probably
Wait, are
not.
they scared of Super Majin Buu? Because Super Majin Buu is hugely power scaled up, or PvP Majin Buu.
We're talking about Super.
Well, I think they're scared of Super Majin Buu, which is
Yeah.
hugely more powerful than Z Buhan or whatever.
Exactly. That makes
Still,
sense.
like, I'm just saying, like, they're still scaled below that level, and if in my personal opinion, I still think Yamcha and Krillin and Super is weaker than Buhan.
Well,
But,
Yamcha's
like,
definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, think about it. Krillin also got rusty too. He stopped fighting in part of Super, and he was a cop, and he actually took damage from a gun.
Oh, God, I hate the gun stuff in Super. It messes up everything. Goku took a bullet.
I fucking hate those gun feats. Like, what's with the fucking gun feats in Super?
You know, okay,
it's just like
let-
it's like, bro,
let-
was there like some kind of firearms revolution in between Z and Super?
To be fair, let's
Goku
consider
took
it in
bullets.
universe. Let's consider this in universe. These people have been aware of the Saiyans ever since they destroyed the city, and plus all the shenanigans that happened after that happened. So they probably were like, "Oh shit, we probably need something to defend against those assholes." So yeah, probably there was a gun revolution.
So they went from guns that couldn't even hurt Kid Goku, could only like sting him, to guns that can be universe busters.
They're now railguns, pocket railguns.
Okay,
Galaxy
to be
destroying
fair
level
though,
guns.
there is actually an explanation for the ray gun scene, and I know people hate the ray gun scene. I don't blame them. It's because it's actually been proven in Dragon Ball that you're actually way more vulnerable when you're not focused and when you're off guard. Even if you're a super powerful character in Dragon Ball, much weaker things can kill you if you're off guard.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's
Power of will.
rationalized. It's rationalized as this. Basically, you're like always like weaker until you like focus your ki or whatever.
Yeah, because they say that a lot of characters in Dragon Ball are actually not getting that much physically stronger. It's just how strong their ki is. So like
The willpower. Kinda.
so basically the idea here is that if you let down your barrier of ki, your vulnerability becomes a lot more realistic whenever your ki is down.
Mm.
There's
But when
yeah,
if- but-
the
but
whole
if you're
topic of ki
focusing-
controls is why
Yeah.
basically you don't just destroy the planet when you take a step.
Right?
Oh, that's suppression. Yeah, yeah, I told people this. It's like every Dragon Ball character has to suppress themselves, especially after the Saiyan saga, because it like characters in the Android saga and Buu saga, if they were to fight without suppression, they would just vaporize the floor they're fighting on like instantly.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
at super level, Goku would just vaporize the universe, or the entire galaxy at least, the entire galaxies.
Well, to be fair, the reason why those
Hmm.
shockwaves were happening was because Goku was not trying to suppress himself. He was actually going all out against Beerus there. So
Actually, if you want to lowball Goku, you could just say that was all Beerus, and that Goku was just tanking it. So it's just a durability feat, not a strength feat.
that too.
If you want to lowball Goku's strength.
to be fair, they actually do prove that at least by the Tournament of Power, there are some characters that actually were considered truly universal by other characters. Like, in fact, fucking Jiren, was so powerful that he surpasses God, as they put it, and even surpasses time itself.
Wow.
Yeah. So, too bad, guys. I need to go because I need to prepare my stream in an hour. Kinda, yeah, sort of in an hour.
I'll be honest, I'll be
so-
stopping in a minute too, so if you have any final thoughts here,
Yeah.
well,
Next time we're going to discuss Star Trek versus Star Wars. No. Don't even go there. We're going to get so much hate for that.
I don't even know Star
well-
Trek or Star Wars lore. So,
well, my JC topics are on polls every other week, so it's probably going to be something else.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, my final thing is, I just saw something. You know, in the Tournament of Power, it's literally stated to be an infinite void, and Goku shook it. So there's that.
Yes, that
Wow.
I fucking hate these feats. Why do they say things like
I don't
that?
know how to power seal
It's
that.
like, it's
is,
like,
is he
dude.
like absurd? Is he like only gets beaten by narrative people? People who like
Yeah,
control
like
the narrative?
it implies that Goku and Jiren specifically, just those two, just surpass infinity. Fuck off.
Yeah,
needs
basically only
limits?
people who are like fourth wall breakers can beat Goku now.
Honestly, that one. You know what's funny though? Sun Wukong, the character Goku's based on, would
Right.
still beat Goku today.
Oh yeah, he's like absurd if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Sun Wukong obtained Nirvana, whatever.
Nirvana.
Which basically he has full control over all things in the universe.
It's enlightenment. Nirvana.
Yeah, he like literally has like the power to control the flow of destiny.
Just make Goku's destiny that he kills himself or something.
Yeah,
He's got
basically.
he's got the power of plot armor at will.
Yeah, he could just decide Goku dies because of plot.
Oh, heart attacks, right. Goku can't beat illnesses. He has no defense against illnesses.
Goku just dies to the Death Note.
Goku does get soloed by the Death Note. He can't. He's been shown heart disease.
Yeah.
Wait, what will happen? Actually, what will happen if somebody wrote Popeye's name in the Death Note?
Popeye just comes back from spinach.
Yes.
The Death Note explodes or something, I don't know.
Even if he gets
Like I
exploded, he
said,
comes
no.
back from spinach.
Yeah.
The only way to stop Popeye is to erase the concept of spinach from his mind.
Imagine
Because,
you write something silly like Popeye dies out of an allergic reaction to spinach.
He just comes back and eats the spinach, and then if the Death Note sticks, I guess he just dies over and over again. That's the best you get. Best case scenario, he dies over and over again.
Oh no.
But most likely, he just comes back and nothing happens.
It makes me want. No, here's the thing. We don't even know the limits of what his spinach does. Like, maybe his spinach can even undo concepts.
The Death Note explodes because it refuses to kill Popeye.
The
Well,
Death
you
Note is-
remove the spinach, he's immortal
The
now. If the
Oh, yeah.
spinach just explodes.
That'd be funny. Ryuk is like, no, I'm not doing that, fam. Leave him alone.
That's fucking silly.
The fucking Death God just go back. He's like, nah, we're leaving Earth if we're gonna do that.
Give me my Death Note. You're no longer allowed to write on it.
I
Oh my
fucking love
goodness.
that scene in Death Note where Ryuk is like, has this wholesome moment where he's like, you've graduated high school and you've gone to college. He's like, this fills me with joy.
Oh my. Anyways, I need to go, guys, to prepare my stream for later. I'll see you around, and yeah, thank you for having me, Golden. It was fun.
Yeah. Um,
I kind of crashed the stream here at the end.
Shoto, do you have anything else you want to say? Because I'm about ready to quit. It's just a shame that you guys came in so late. The stream is so much more fun now than it was in the first half.
Yeah, but oh, I'm sorry. I was outside eating with my family. Nothing I could do about that.
I know.
I
It's
only
just
figure out that you were.
there's just bad
I
luck
only figure out
because
that you were. Okay.
because you guys were saying, or I know at least Zool was saying that he's usually more available like around 4 or so, as opposed to like back around 2, like when I used to do it.
Right. No,
I
that
only
was.
figured out you were streaming because I randomly checked Discord on my phone. I thought you guys were in VC.
He's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, I
That's
saw versus debates, and that's what I joined.
It's fun to talk about. I like talking about that.
Yeah, me too.
I got more like a casual power skill. I don't like go out of my way to power skill stuff.
I'm not as dedicated to it as like Seth the programmer or something like that, but it's still a fun hobby though.
It's a fun mental exercise,
Mm.
Just thinking about it is fun.
It does get to the point you can't like get too serious about it, or else it becomes not very fun.
One thing it's funny to think that like Nappa could literally solo Naruto and can solo One Piece.
By the way,
Yeah,
when you start
probably.
thinking about outliers, power scaling starts to get complicated because
Yeah,
then it becomes a
there's some, like-
subjectives game.
Yeah, there's like some like out like anti feats where it's like, should we count this or not? Because like if it seems really out of place for the character, some people will usually just like to go, no, doesn't count.
It's not even just anti-feat. It also could be feats there where a character, like a wall level character, just suddenly obliterates a building randomly. It's clearly a gag, so should we even count that? Outliers,
Unless-
stuff like
unless
that.
Especially
Yeah.
if it doesn't happen again.
No, yeah, if they're not established as being a gag character like a Raleigh, then I don't think it counts. Like,
Alright.
yeah, because her whole thing is that she is a gag character. So, like, all those things are real.
Wait, Goku went toe-to-toe with a gag character. Is he now 4th wall level? Can he beat narrative characters?
Well, remember, Raleigh always beat Goku each time.
Actually, did she beat him in Super?
Yes. In fact, she
Oh,
also
dang.
beat Vegeta, too.
Pretty sure she beat Vegeta way worse than Goku, if I remember correctly.
Sort of, but that's just because Vegeta was, like... Vegeta was being more tryhard about it. Goku was trying to be more cautious about it. Like, and Beerus had to come in and stop her because apparently Gods of Destruction are able to ignore gag powers. That's very handy. Yeah, no. Apparently in Super, if you're a god, you just ignore gag power.
How come
He just
well, this is...
like Beerus literally just nullifies her toon power and just damages her with just a regular attack.
Alright, final thing. I don't consider One Punch Man a gag character. Saitama is not a gag character to me. I treat him as a serious character for power scaling.
Season 1, you could call him that, but after that, he kind of stops being one.
Yeah, I feel like you have to treat him as a serious character. Or else you just no limits fallacy him and he loses to no one. If he's a
Here's
gag
the thing,
character.
though, yeah, because people back then, for some reason, I don't know why this became such a big meme, everyone thought he was infinite. I'm like, no. Where did the show ever say this?
His
and-
power scaling may be infinite, you could say that, but any
Here's the
character
thing,
that's like
though.
Goku level could just one-shot him before he scales up.
Season 3
Right.
exists. I know we don't have it dubbed, but it's in the manga, and you can actually see where his limits are. Or at least very close to his limits. You can get a general idea where he peaks at, and he actually peaks at, like, the ability to... I had told Zul this, it's a crazy shot. It shows him punching towards a bunch of stars in the background, you know, like how space has all those little white dots on it. All those white dots disappeared.
So he's low galaxy level.
Yeah.
And not even that. Like that blast was so fast. Those people didn't even know. Like, anyone who was living in those star systems didn't even notice. They ceased to exist.
Yeah.
That's how
And
fast
it
it
wasn't
was.
even like he was trying to punch over there. It was a whiffed punch from the opponent he was fighting, and it just destroyed all those planets and stars.
So he solos One Piece, basically, is what you're saying.
Well, hell, even
It solos the
Raditz.
planet.
No, bro. Even Raditz solos One Piece.
One Piece versus Spider-Man.
Oh, that's interesting.
That could be for the next topic of discussion.
Yeah, I
next
suppose
time.
so.
No,
I guess
that's
next
actually
stream.
pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Also,
fascinating.
there's nothing stopping us from talking about this on our own sometimes too.
That too. Anyways, I need to go to set everything up before I start streaming later in like 45 minutes or so.
I'm
see you
pretty sure
guys.
dinner's probably about ready upstairs anyway.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go because we'll basically continue rambling for like an hour if I don't.
That's how Versus is. You know, it's fun.
Exactly. All right, bye
Bye.
guys.